the following.
Seven, it's Craig. Craig up the middle, and all Craig could go. If he gets by Johnson, he's gone. And Jonathan Craig is going to tie this game unless Eric Johnson can catch him, and I don't think he can. Oh, it's wide open. Number 10 for Pittsburgh, Dennis Taylor, touchdown.
We got a 1st and goal here from about the 7-yard line.
The most rushing yards ever in this game is Simonton goes in for a touchdown. There's Lopez, and Lopez has a touchdown. Next year, Antioch will they'll reap some of the benefits of this learning experience as Rene Lopez goes in for a touchdown. 9:44 to go here, folks, and Antioch right back in it. 41 seconds to go, Antioch, and a handoff to Lopez. Rene Lopez is in for a touchdown as Birdsell hands off to Vernon Williams, and Vernon Williams is gone.
First play.
Vernon Williams, first play, 69 yards, touchdown Pirates, just like that. Look at that, Vernon Williams just runs right over Hananiah Jennings. I have AT&T Cable Services. We'll be out there this year. First down, Williams.
Look out.
Some yardage.
Look out.
Williams gets outside. Williams still on his feet. Vernon Williams with great speed. Williams at the 40, and you can forget it, folks. Vernon Williams, 85 yards, another touchdown for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'll have him dedicate that song to him.
Here we go.
Look at Vernon Williams up the middle, touchdown Pirates. Back at Pittsburgh High School as we get ready for the 83rd Big Little game between Antioch and Pittsburgh, and great friends of AT&T Broadband, of course, as always, Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, voted best pizza by the readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, where this weekend, Steve, you can see K-Pax and many other movies.
Monsters, Inc.
And a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology at Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Dan Wall with Steve Sanchez, Ron Carter, Matt Bolender, and our great crew out here, Steve, as we get ready for today's game. And we're ready to go. We can't even breathe today. We're going to have to tell you about all these great players as Antioch showed up on the bus about 5 minutes ago, Steve.
Yeah, they kind of just, we were wondering if they were going to be here, and they showed up. And with the kids they got, just like Ferris said, you know, he wants them to smell the grass, and he wants this to be a good experience for them.
So Antioch wearing the white uniforms with the black pants, and Pittsburgh in all black, very intimidating as always. And Antioch will kick off here to start the 83rd Big Little game. As we mentioned, Steve, Pittsburgh needs to win this one to get a higher seeding in the 4A playoffs. They don't want to end up at the 8 seed. You know what that gets you?
Yeah, that gets you the big green machine.
The big green machine. Antioch, of course, the season will end here today, but don't count Antioch out of this one, folks. They're resilient. They played a great game last week against Clayton Valley, winning 31-28. But Pittsburgh gets star running back Steve Simonton back to start today to go with sophomore Brian Robinson in their backfield. We're underway from Pittsburgh. Hatch the kick, and this is Amaral at the 7-yard line. Good coverage down there from Antioch, but Amaral still on his feet. Finally tackled by number 7 of Antioch, Mark Redmond. We have to use this roster, Steve.
Okay.
They've changed a bunch of numbers on us, so remember to use this roster. Let's take a look at the quarterback for Pittsburgh. That's Braxton Duffy. Steve, he was a converted defensive end, and you can see that he has started to really pick things up for the Pirates this year.
Yeah, Dan, and he's really he's come on. He threw 3 touchdown passes last week. He doesn't throw a lot with the running machine he has, but he's getting more and more effective throwing the ball as the season's gone along this year.
First down, the ball at the 17-yard line for Pittsburgh. Just underway here, the 83rd Big Little game between Antioch and Pittsburgh. Last weekend of the regular season on AT&T Broadband. And here's a draw play, and that's Simonton. And Simonton might have lost 2 on that play. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh offense. Duffy, the quarterback. Steve Simonton and Cedric Hunter are the running backs. Justin Amaral and Jamar Hines, the wide receivers, and Will Collins, who is Bill Cockerham, the coach's MVP, is the tight end. Butchelato, Rodriguez, Murillo, Gripe, and Toena, the line. And, Steve, that is a huge offensive line.
Especially that right side with Murillo and Tonea and Butchelato, that right side. They're going to be going over there a lot tonight. That was a real nice play by Toenia, and that was a real nice play, Mark, by Redmond on that tackle by Antioch.
You've said it twice, and you've said it wrong twice. It's incredible. Simonton on the sweep, and Simonton Gets a couple back out to the 21-yard line. He's tackled there by number 20, Steve Kuchak, and D'Lo Hilton. Antioch defensive starters, and who even knows if this is their starters, the way things have been going for them. Williams, Sino, Luna, and Whittle across the line. They're using 4 linebackers. They got Richie Beltram back with Mark Redmond, T. Dixon, and as we see the next screen, we'll see the other linebacker, Damon Anderson. Lontavius Johnson, we have Damon Anderson listed twice, Steve, so he's doing double duty. They have so many injuries, they have 2 guys. I think actually it's going to be Kuchak who starts in the backfield for Antioch, and D'Lo Hilton as well. I can see now that Hilton is playing safety. Antioch using a 4-4, trying to stop this running game. 3rd and 7. Simonton the sweep again. Jesse Williams is out there, and another good play. Jorge Lopez, who I was told was not going to play, is out there, makes the tackle, and Pittsburgh's going to have to kick this one away, Steve.
Yeah, Dan, Antioch's stood up real good defensive wise on that stand. Jorge Lopez made a real nice tackle right there. And let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And here it is. They just go off to that right side with all them big studs. And 76 for Antioch turns it in for him, John. Luna turns it in, and there's Lopez, 25. They're about 4th and about a yard to go, but this side of the field, they're going to have to punt it in.
Gade's the punter for Pittsburgh. His father played football here at Pittsburgh High School. A number of those stories will be told today. That's interference on Pittsburgh. They did not give the deep back for Antioch, Hilton, any room. And so I think they're going to attack 5 onto this. Pittsburgh's going to have good field position, Steve, as Joey Pate, who had a great game last week against Clayton Valley, leads the Panthers out on their first offensive possession.
And, Dan, they need a real big game from him tonight. They're going to need 4 or 5 touchdown passes from him to stay with Pittsburgh today. It's going to be interesting to see if Antioch can't jump on Pittsburgh and see if they can't try to get the emotion of the fans on their side. That's what they need to do to have a chance, Dan.
You know, Steve, the Antioch side is full today. That's hasn't been full in past years, but there's a good crowd out here, probably about 5,000 as always for the Antioch-Pittsburgh game. And Joey Pate and the Panthers are talking about, I would imagine they would want to take this penalty. I think they're going to tack some yardage onto the fact that they interfered on that punt return. And Antioch might actually move into Pittsburgh territory. Or are they going to make them kick it again?
They're going to move them back and make them repunt.
Okay. So Pittsburgh will re-kick, and we'll show you the Antioch offensive starters after this punt, Steve.
And for Antioch, Dan, it's real good that they have Richie Beltram back in the middle. I talked to Jim Baccio a couple weeks ago, and he just said he's one of those guys who makes about 15 to 17 tackles a game. So in between the tackles, they got a little bit of help. But they also lost Zach Robinson on the outside in the defensive backfield. So once they get to that initial wave, they may have some success there at Pittsburgh. Look for them breaking some long ones if they get by the first wave, Dan.
Yeah, Antioch should have good field position. Gay from about the 2-yard line will kick. And here's Hilton. And Hilton probably needs to get out of the way. So it actually might have gained them 4 yards, Steve.
Yeah.
And that's where Antioch will take over. We talked about Joey Pate. Let's show you the Antioch starters. Lontavius Johnson gets the start. Aaron McGee's out, Steve.
Another starter.
David Nolan, D'Lo Hilton, Brett Fisher, all the regulars are out. Frank Rowe is the only receiver that started the season as a starting receiver that's in today. Norris, Hatch, Sino, Guillory, and Wills, and a bunch of those guys are new, Steve. If you looked at the first game and this game, couldn't tell the rosters.
It's incredible, Dan. It really is.
We'll tell you about those injuries as we get going. But Joey Pate has been a constant. He threw 4 touchdown passes last week against Clayton Valley. First down from the 49. This is T. Dixon who's actually in the backfield to start the game. And Dixon's still fighting for yardage. He's getting hammered, but he gets a couple. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh defense quickly. Will Collins, Alex Toena, Ronald Wright, and Eddie Curry across the line. The linebackers very good. They played great last year. Javier Fuentes, Anthony Bazan, and Dustin Albini. And in the defensive backfield, D'Angelo Mathis, Joey Hart, Nicholas Orlando, and Jamar Hines. And Jamar Hines' brother Steve was a great wide receiver here.
Yes, he was. A lot of tradition in this game. A lot of brothers playing and cousins and aunts.
Holy Toledo. 2nd and 7. Dixon again. And Steve, that's what's called getting stuck at the line of scrimmage. Collins, Fuentes, and Wright are all there to make the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Let's watch Ronald Wright, number 65 right here, Dan. Busts through right here, and there's the first initial contact by number 65. He really wraps him up, and he doesn't unwrap until he's done eating his candy bar.
And that was Alex Toena.
Toena?
Yeah,
And
the
there's
Samoan night train, they call
Wow,
it.
my God. There's 2 Toneas.
We've got, so Steve has said it 3 times wrong. We're keeping track of it today.
Can you imagine if I run into him in the alley at night?
Have you ever seen his
how big he
and
is?
the sister too? I don't know how
She'll
they
beat
how
me
they
up.
feed that family. Third down, paid to throw. Looks for inside. Nice pass this time. Oh, and a fumble. That was Nolan. Makes a great play. It's picked up by Pittsburgh. The first turnover of the game. And there's number 65, Ronald Wright, making a big play. Pittsburgh's going to get the ball back, Steve.
He's made 2 big plays starting off this big game for him. Well, what a big hit, man. Let's see this hit right here. Here's a good throw by Joey Pate. He's in the pocket, and he throws a real good ball right here. Hits him right on the numbers. And let's watch his hit right here. Who comes up right there?
Looked like 33. It looked like Nicholas Orlando coming up from a strong safety position to make that hit, Steve.
Orlando. And I talked to his mom. Is that his mom or his aunt, Dan?
I think it's his aunt, and
it's
his
aunt.
father played here as well, Mike Orlando. In the 7th.
Real great Pittsburgh family.
Here's
the Orlando
Simonton.
family.
We know about his brother.
Oh, we know about him and him.
And he gets 7. Now, the story behind Simonton is this, Steve. He had 970 yards through 6 games when he got hurt. Bill Cockrum, the coach, said they would have, we're going to send it down to the field for the call.
You're going to get a personal foul on Tonea, number 77.
Okay. Personal foul. This way.
I got 5 strikes.
You've said it wrong all 5 times.
Yeah, let's watch a replay right here, Dan. Let's see if we can't see the big Samoan at the end. I'll bet they're calling him
Just call him the big Samoan.
The big Samoan.
And his little brother.
And his little brother. Let's watch 77 up the field. Oh, there's a slap to the back of the head. Oh, there's another slap.
Looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out. What do you mean, Vince McMahon? Man. I think that's what happens. Actually, I think they had to take Toyin out. I think he's a little fired up today, Steve.
That was Fuentes on the sideline. He was fired up.
If you don't start saying his name right, that's what's going to happen to you next time.
Exactly.
Simonton on first down, still on his feet. Simonton breaks a tackle. Simonton is running tough, Steve, and that's the one thing about Simonton. They say he doesn't run through guys. He runs around guys, whereas Robinson runs through guys.
Right.
And Robinson's coming on the field now, but that was a good run by Simon.
Real nice run, Dan. Let's watch the pitch right here. And here he is. He gets to the outside, and you see a little determination on his part right here, Dan. He breaks a tackle right there by Johnson and turns upfield and gets a little bit more. Good effort on his part, Dan.
And for those of you that have been living under a rock, his brother, Ken, was a Heisman Trophy candidate. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out right for them, but they were basically the same colors. He's up at Oregon State. Second down, handoff. This is Robinson, the sophomore, and he's come in and ran for over 100 yards. I believe, Steve, he's ran for over 100 yards. I know in the last 2 games, I think in the last 3 actually, since he's taken over for Simonton, who got hurt. But Simonton had 970 yards through 6. They thought he was going to break the school record, but unfortunately the injury knocked him out, and Zach Robinson made the tackle.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be playing, and it looks like he's out there, Dan. I guess if you could walk, you're going to be playing for Antioch today. I mean, the guys if you can crawl, guys on crutches, you're out. But if you're injured and you're walking, your legs are moving, you're playing.
Well, with that Toena guy hitting people like that, you might need a crutch.
The big Samoan?
Yeah, the big Samoan. 3rd and 3 for Pittsburgh. The ball at the 47-yard line. 6:05 to go first quarter. No score. 83rd Big Little game.
Oh, we're going to get the motion on the side.
Yeah, Amaral and Hines both moved there, and that'll knock them back 5. It's going to be 3rd and 8, Steve. So, Steve, let's talk about the Pittsburgh coaching staff. Bill Cockrum in his
Good ball.
season.
Full start. Offense. Still 2nd down.
There's the call from the field. Jim Shipe, who's a good friend of ours, is the defensive coordinator. Aaron Alatorre, a good friend of ours, who always has information for us. He gave me the inside information that Simonton was going to start this game, but he told me I'd be shot if I told anyone other than you.
Oh, okay. Well, now the cat's out of the bag.
Jeff Duke, the Duke of Earl, they call him over here at Pittsburgh, the offensive line coach.
Duke
Sergio Vargas is also a coach. Steve Gomez is the junior varsity coach, and let's congratulate the junior varsity 21-14 winners in the game that preceded this one, and they're the junior varsity champs of the BVAL this year. 3rd down, Duffy to throw. He's looking for Amaral. Amaral comes back to the ball. Nicely delivered pass, and a first down for Pittsburgh at the 29-yard line. Lontavius Johnson with the coverage, Steve. But this is a guy that was a defensive end in the summer. They made him into a quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you what, he really threw the ball well right there, Dan. Let's watch this right here. You got to respect the run, and he fakes it, and he gets a lot of time in the pocket, double pumps, and throws a real nice ball right here. Watch where this ends up, Dan. Nice curl in right there. There's Johnson on the tackle, but he's moving the chains, and a real nice throw for the first time for Duffy.
Just so you know, Duffy's 6'4", so he does stand tall in the pocket.
I can say that then.
Yes.
He stands tall in the pocket, Dan.
Hand off to Simonton. I'll tell you what, though, Antioch's playing good defense. That was John Cino who dropped Simonton for a 2-yard loss. Steve, Pittsburgh last year were 6-4, the BBL co-champ. You know what's amazing, Steve? They win today, they're going to be 6-4. Same record, same exact league record. Last year, their loss, I think I have it written down here too, that, they lost to Deer Valley in that really good game that we did. I think it was 34-28 was their only league loss. They beat Ignacio last year, but this year they lost to him again, and because of that, Ignacio is going to get the higher seed, but they're in different brackets, so it really doesn't matter.
Do you ever get dizzy, Dan, by all the information in your
I
head?
don't know. It's like a computer sometimes, and sometimes it just wants to crash. 2nd and 12. Simonton on the sweep again. And Simonton is running with authority, and he's still on his feet, and he's tackled by a whole pack of Panthers, Steve. Redmond was there. And I guarantee you, coming from that far down the line, he had to have a couple of defensive back there. I think I saw Lopez and I saw Whittle.
Whittle was getting up. Let's watch it right here, Dan. Student body right. Right here to the right. Here's Simonton right there. He turns upfield, makes a nice cut right there. He's got some real good real estate. There's Beltram. He came in 33. Whittle, who wasn't in on that tackle? There was a lot of guys on that tackle.
10-yard gain, 3rd and 2. Pittsburgh driving, 4 minutes to play, first quarter. And here's a deep handoff, and that's Robinson. And Robinson has a first down.
Nice move.
And Robinson's still on his feet, and Robinson's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 3:48 to go here in the first quarter, and Robinson, a 21-yard run, gets the Pirates on the board.
Well, Dan, they ran on the left-hand side of Pittsburgh's offensive line of Will Collins and Keith Gripe and Wade Rodriguez on the left-hand side, and they opened up the real estate for him, and he filled in good for Simonton, and you see why, Dan.
Well, Robinson's a 6 foot, 175-pound sophomore.
And I read in the paper, said Robinson's good, but Coach Cochran said he's not as good as Simonton.
Well, yeah,
no matter what.
Give him 2 years.
Yeah.
They like their future here at Pittsburgh, and Zerbini is on to attempt the extra point, and that one is up, and the kick is good. 3:48 to go first quarter, and it's 7-0 Pittsburgh. So, Steve, no shock here. Pittsburgh went right down the field, mixed it up good, a couple passes, some good runs. And while we have an opportunity, let's talk about friends of the program. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies. I think we drove by every one of these places on the way here.
When you picked
Mercado's Hairstylists for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And, Steve, you have a first quarter great friend for us?
You know who a good friend was, Dan? I know you're going to like her. Agent 99 on Get Smart. She was a good friend.
Here's a good friend, Joey Acuna. Let's send it down to him.
Thanks, Dan. We're here with the parents of number 84, William Collins. William Collins, Coach Cockerham for the Pirates says is one of his inspirational players, one of his MVPs. I got both his parents here. Class of 1974. We got Rodney in Virginia. Rodney, you played football for the Pirates. What position did you play?
Middle linebacker and offensive guard.
Now, you married Virginia over here. What was she?
She was the head majorette at Pittsburgh in '74.
Now, tell me something, Virginia, as they kick it off. Tell us about your son.
Well, he's wonderful. Still about my son. What can I say? He's bright, he's smart. He's just a real lovable son.
Thank you very much. Their MVP this year, William Collins. Back up to you, Dan and Steve.
Thanks, Joey. That's Dixon with the return for Antioch out to about the 25-yard line. And, Steve, I had a friend, but I'm just going to my friends today are all theme Antioch-Pittsburgh game, but we got to throw Matt LeBlanc in because we've done all the friends.
Okay.
He was a good friend.
And, you know, when Joey asked his her husband, what was she? I thought he was thinking, well, she was a girl. I mean, Joey's interview, you got to love Joey, don't you? Yeah, I love that guy.
Joey Acuna, he's one of a kind.
Joey Acuna. You never know what he's going to come up with.
First down, Dixon up the middle. And Dixon's tripped up after a gain of about 3. I think that was Fuentes who tripped him up.
It was Fuentes, Dan. Good call.
So, Steve, Pittsburgh, obviously, as we mentioned, is trying to play to stay out of the De La Salle bracket, is where they'd like to go.
But that's a good motivation in itself.
We saw Jimmy Magana. We said, Jimmy, did everyone make it home safe from the game yesterday?
That's all they cared about.
De La Salle 57, Deer Valley 6. We're going to talk about some of the games. That's one good thing about having a Saturday game. You know what happened Friday night.
I like Jimmy. Look at this. Go ahead, Dan. Take this.
Dixon. I'll tell you one thing, Steve. There's not a lot of room. That was Bazan, and Dixon was stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
Bazan really stuffed that hole real quick right there, Dan, and made a real good tackle. And I think they're going to have to go to the air quite a bit with Joey. Maybe get him rolling out, giving him the option, get him some room and some time to make some decisions, Dan, on the outside. Brett Fisher just checked in, Dan, but that's what I think is going to have to happen.
By the way, I do want to congratulate Will Collins. Coach Cochran told me he is his best player, and that's something coming from a team with this much talent. I think a lot of that has to do with the heart. Pate to throw on third down, throws a swing pass for Dixon. It's incomplete. And so Antioch's going to have to punt for the second consecutive possession here with 2:26 to go. Steve, Ferris Anthony in his 6th year, the head coach of the Antioch Panthers. A lot of great guys over there that we know. Bob Fisher, Jim Baccio, Mark Butterfield, Anthony Borelli, Greg Davis, Chris Henry, Al Anthony, Vern Martin, Jeff Rich, of course, the principal.
And you know, Greg Davis and Jim Baccio, they played on that 1969-70 team together that beat Pittsburgh for the first time in 22 years. And they always remind me of that. They said, we were the first team, and Baccio was a great runner, and Greg Davis was a great lineman.
I was right here at that game. I believe the score was either 16 or 20 to nothing, Steve. We didn't get the scores in the paper. That's a good punt this time from Hatch, and that's a new Pirate in the game. That's Keith Christopher with the return. And Christopher out to about the 36-yard line. For those of you over in the East County side, Steve, you don't know that the way, if you're not familiar with the way this series has laid itself out, that Pittsburgh has a big lead in the overall record. But for years, it went 22 years for Pittsburgh. Then Antioch won about 16 years in a row. They split it up a little, and now Pittsburgh kind of dominated in recent times.
And Steve Kupchak was in on that tackle, and I got to mention his name because I watched the film last week, and Kupchak had a pretty good game, and we didn't mention his name at all. He made a couple tackles that we missed, Dan, so we need to give him a little credit.
Well, you just did.
I just did.
Okay.
And number 3 is Matthew Head. He's checked in. He came up from JVs, Dan.
This is Simonton. Simonton has blockers. And Simonton is knocked out of bounds at the 50-yard line by number 21, Lontavius Johnson. So, Steve, the Pittsburgh offense, as you would expect, has rushed for 1,864 yards, passed for 1,200, averaging 339 a game. Antioch's defense, though, has given up almost that same amount of yardage rushing. And you can see on the replay here, Steve, that Simonton was running very well here in the early going.
Oh, yeah, he's getting a lot of real estate. He's getting about 12 or 13 yards a run, it seems like, Dan. That's not good news for Antioch. Antioch's got to keep their heart in this game and try to stay fired up. It's only 7-0. They need to try to keep it close for Joey Pate in the fourth quarter to have a chance, Dan. Go ahead and take this play.
With those last 2 runs, Simonton over 1,000 yards rushing for the season. First down, the ball at the 49-yard line. Handoff Simonton. Simonton with yardage again. And Simonton's going to be close to another first down. Jesse Williams came over to finish D'Lo Hilton's tackle. He also had help from Richie Beltram, Steve. But if Antioch can't stop this rushing attack, it's going to be a long afternoon for the Panthers.
Well, let's watch the replay right here. And here they are. On the right-hand side right there, 22 gets his clock clean. There's a good block on number 43, and there's a good individual effort, and there's a little bit of gang tackling, but some good initial blocking up front by the Pirates. The initial attack is they're winning the battle up front early.
And see, Steve, they're rotating their lines. One thing you're going to have to watch, I know you love to identify linemen, but Toena's lining up on both sides of the ball.
Without even moving.
And so, since he's so big, I think you can see him when he goes out there to line up.
Can I just call him the Big Samoan?
The Big Samoan.
And he is a big man.
Well, listen, at 6'5", 340.
Mike.
Every college on the planet's looking at
who
him.
doesn't want that guy?
His brother Alex is a junior, the Samoan Night Train, 6'2", 230.
Wait a minute.
We saw Albert Toena, the big guy, the big Samoan. We saw his sister, remember last year, the
That's
twin?
right.
She plays basketball.
She plays basketball, and she's a sweet gal. But we got the Night Train Samoan. What'd you call it?
The Samoan Night Train.
The Samoan Night Train and the Big Samoan?
The Big Samoan.
And they're okay with that?
And that's what Coach Cochran told me I could call him.
Okay, that's fine, because I don't want them looking
clear
for me.
it with Coach Cochran.
Do you imagine having to talk to that guy in the back alley? The Big Samoan wants to see you. I'll be right there.
Yes, thank you. And we're not talking about Peter Mavia.
I'm going to take some burritos with me just in case I got to throw them at him.
I think you'd need more than a burrito. First down. Handoff to the first back through. Number 34. That's the Samoan Night Train.
They're going to call that on the ground.
That's Alex Toena. Now, Steve, can you imagine this? Next year you got Toena and you already got Robinson. When does practice start?
My God.
They also have a quarterback coming up they like. Let's see this one again.
I don't think we have it, Dan. Yeah, well, maybe we do. I don't know. Whoa, what was that? My whole life just flashed in front of me.
They like to tease us down there in the truck.
That's okay.
Steve. That's all right.
They're great guys down there.
Oh,
Carter, Ron Carter, and Matt Bolin. They're good guys.
Minute to go in the first quarter. Handoff Simonton. That time Simonton is stuck, even though he might have got the first down yardage.
Guess who stuck him?
I think it was Mr. Beltram.
It was Mr. Beltram. He said, that felt good. I haven't done that in a couple weeks. Let's watch this. Let's watch 33, Richie Beltram. This is what Antioch's been missing for about 2 weeks, Dan. Watch this hit. And, boy, once he gets hit, he doesn't go far.
Yeah, Mr. O'Rourke from Clayton Valley didn't see a lot of that last week.
No, he did not. He got a lot of his yards right up the middle.
56 seconds to go here in the quarter. 7-0 Pittsburgh. 83rd Big Little game, Steve. You were around for the second one, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Play action. Duffy to throw.
Look out.
Into the, oh, he got hammered, and Beltram intercepts. Steve, that was Zach Robinson who made a huge play. He hit Duffy as he threw. Beltram intercepts at the 20-yard line. Antioch with a turnover, so now it's 1-1 and evened out.
And let's watch the replay right here. Let's see if we can't get Robinson from the blind side. That fake didn't get nothing. Here he comes. Watch this hit, Dan. Right here. Hello. And that, I think that had something to do with the pass, Dan.
Well, it might have, yeah.
But there's Beltram playing back in his zone right there, and he picks it up. And so far, Antioch, they're kind of answering. They're hanging in there.
You're the color man of the year. You know that?
Oh, come on. You just tease me. And then, you build me up just to bring me down. Wasn't there a song like
Build me up, Buttercup. Yeah, it was. You build me up to bring you down. Yeah.
God. I'm in a world of hurt.
40 seconds to go. Antioch, still hanging around though, Steve. They're playing very tough here in the first quarter. 7-0. Play action. Pate with a good fake. And Pate's going to run this one, Steve, and he's got good yardage. Although Jamar Hines wasn't too impressed with it.
No, he really wasn't. And Edward Curry had a little something to say about it, number 11.
I'm sure Curry had a relation here as well. There's been a lot of Currys.
Let's watch this, Dan. And right here, there's been a lot of Currys. And right here, here's a rollout. And watch him. Here he comes. He's turning up the field. And they're going to fold him like a Kmart lounge chair right here.
You can only use that one more time.
No,
Steve.
on this side of the hill I can use it
okay.
twice. Okay.
This should be the last play of the first quarter. 15 seconds to go. Pate hands off to Dixon. And I think Dixon just got enough for the first down.
Bazan.
Out to about the 33-yard line. Bazan with the tackle. They're going to stop the clock to move the chains, but then they'll restart, Steve. And I think we're going to be done with the first quarter, but so far, a pretty good ball game.
Pretty good, pretty competitive. Surprisingly, Antioch's kind of hanging around. I like that name, Bazan.
Anthony Bazan.
Bazan.
Well, Steve, that's the last play of the first quarter. The score after one period of play here from Pittsburgh High School, the Pirates 7 and the Panthers nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
What you doing, Dad?
I'm just getting rid of my old used motor oil.
Dad! Dad! Dad!
What? Whoa!
It's Mr. Funnelhead, the captain of clean water.
What are you doing? Use your brain, not the storm drain. Recycle your used motor oil for a cleaner future. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Second quarter begins at Pittsburgh High School. 7-0 Pirates here. 83rd Big Little game. Dan and Steve as always, and the handoff on first down. And into just a pack of Pirates, Steve. A whole boatload. There's a good one. A boatload of Pirates. I think it was Lontavius Johnson who made that run. Now, Steve, some great friends of the program here on AT&T Broadband, as always. The game of the week and our great friends. Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, voted best pizza by the readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, 14 screens of movie magic. Contra Costa Clean Water Program, Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology at Concord. Second down, Pate to throw. Over the middle, looking for Nolan, and he throws it into a crowd. And out of nowhere came Rowe, who almost made a circus catch.
Yes, he really did, Dan. He kind of threw it up, and Rowe almost came out of that pack with a good catch, but for not.
We're going to send it down to Joey. Go, Joey.
Thanks, Dan. We got John Cino the fourth's dad over here, John Cino the third. John, you went to Pittsburgh. You graduated what year?
1977.
But you got a son playing. Tell me about his position and everything.
He plays offensive right guard, defensive tackle, and he's a little stud.
Now, what did he do last week?
Last week, he hit the running back at the end of the game in the Clayton game, caused a fumble, man. Antioch kicked the field goal after that.
Right on. Now, tell me something about your uncle who got inducted in the Hall of Fame last night for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, my great uncle Frank just got inducted into the Hall of Fame football. He was a 4-year varsity starter from 31 to 34. All my cousins coach in Pittsburgh. I went to Pittsburgh, and I got a root for Antioch.
Now, tell me about Johnny's dad now.
Johnny's dad now is living out in the city, doing a little bit of acting and working, and just coming out here to support Antioch High School.
Johnny's stepdad.
Johnny's stepdad is one of the coaches, man. Great guy. They got a good future for this team. Anthony Borelli.
Johnny Cino's dad. Back upstairs to you, Dan and Steve.
First down, and Bazan just stuffs Dixon at the line of scrimmage. You missed the first down pass to D'Lo Hilton. And the amazing thing about that John Cino interview,
yes, Dan?
That's what he used to look like at parties back in the 70s.
Because you were there with him.
Yeah, I was. So his stepdad, John Cino, who plays for Antioch, is Anthony Borelli, the line catch. Yeah, let's see that pass that we missed here. We have the replay for you, I believe.
Yeah, here
this
it is,
the
Dan.
First down throw, Steve.
It's kind of just like a screen out to Hilton on the wide out. Right there, he gambles. Number one, Hart kind of misses him. And here comes Hilton and moves the change to the right. Nice move. But that's the play we missed, Dan, so we're right back where we should be.
We got it all in for you. No gain on that play. 2nd and 10 right at midfield. Pate to throw. Over the middle, and that's Brett Fisher, and Fisher has another Antioch first down. Coverage that time from Orlando at the 30-yard line. Steve, some more great friends of the program. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And Steve, second quarter?
Well, my second quarter good friends were two guys, and I liked them because I loved the way they entered the room. It was two guys. It was Lenny and Squiggy. And you ever remember the way they used to come in the room? He'd go like this. Hello.
You need another channel on your television.
Hey, Lenny and Squiggy were two of the best.
Unsportsmanlike penalty on Pittsburgh's going to move this one ahead. Steve, I'm going strictly with the Big Little Game theme. You know who was a good friend of the Big Little Game?
Who?
Marv Comstock.
Oh, yes, he was.
The late, great coach of the Antioch
Panthers. He wasn't great friends with Pittsburgh because he beat him every year.
But he was a great friend of the game.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. He helped make the game what it is today.
Okay, Dan, fine. You going to elaborate any more on that?
That was back in the days when we used to have to play the game at Diablo Valley College.
Because it was so big.
It was so big. Well, yeah, amongst other things. Bigger police force to.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Antioch at the 15-yard line trying to tie this one up. First down, Pate with the option. Pate, I thought he had the ball, Steve, but he actually handed off to Lontavius Johnson, and Johnson is dropped for a 5-yard loss, Steve.
And number 84 for the Pirates. Let's see who that big boy is. Will Collins. Real nice play by Collins right there. He wrapped him up and got him for about a 2-yard loss, Dan. Let's watch the replay, Dan. Let's watch number 84 right here, Dan. Here's the ball. Watch 84 come in. And there he's pretty much a one-on-one tackle. He gets some help. He stands him up. Nice play by Collins.
You saw the Pirates who were going Pate. That fake didn't sell a thing.
No.
We had you all the way. Second down. Pate to throw. Has a receiver. It's Rowe, and Rowe is out of bounds at the 7-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd and about 3, Steve. But I'm really impressed with the effort the Panthers are giving here. But it just begs the question, what happened against Freedom? Yeah, and what, De La Salle, we'll throw that one out. What happened against Liberty?
Well, Dan, it's been a crazy year all year. If you really look at the scores, they've been Jekyll and Hyde on both sides of the hill, Dan. Go ahead.
Freedom 17, Liberty 14,
okay.
Almost had a riot last night.
Yes, that's right.
Ignacio 19-0. You know, Steve, in their last 4 games, throw out the De La Salle game, Ignacio Valley's given up 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Third down, Pate, rolling, play action. And Pate is stuffed. A good defensive play that time by Cedric Hunter in on defense. This is going to be an interesting call for the Panthers, Steve. 4th and 5.
Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. And Cedric Hunter is going to get Pate right here, and he's going to fold him like an Atlas road map right here. Watch this. He gets him and just folds him on up.
All right, Atlas road map he's used twice, right, Brent? Can't use it again.
No.
Kmart lounge chair he's used twice, can't use it again.
I've used it once. Where you been?
I was with you last night. See, Steve, they do show these games over here,
That's
too.
fine, but they don't watch them.
No, they don't watch. 4th down, Pate from the 9-yard line. Look into the end zone. Pate throws. He's got Rowe. Rowe stretches. I think he got the first down, Steve, on a great individual effort.
Yes, I think they're going to give him the mark, Dan. What a nice play by Rowe. We've seen that a couple times here, Dan. And here's Pate. Here's the key to this is the time he has to throw the ball, Dan. No pressure at all till late, but he throws it to Rowe. And watch this individual effort right here. Watch the stretch. The knee is not down. Real nice.
And that's important because if that knee goes down, they might have given him a deeper spot there.
And you know, Dan, you can't give Antioch enough credit the way they're playing right now with Pitt. They're driving down the field with 8:22 to go. They could tie this game up. You'd have to say it's kind of shocking right now early for Antioch to be in this game.
First and goal from the 4.
Right there.
Handoff Dixon. Dixon right into the teeth of that Pirate defense. And Steve, I'm going to go out on a limb and say every guy that plays linebacker in line touched him.
That's a big limb you're out on, Dan, because I think you're right. Let's watch it right here. They do the fake, and right there's a roadblock, and there's a SWAT team in on that tackle.
Dustin Albini, I think, made the
CIA
the
was
big
involved.
Hit. Was the CIA involved?
The CIA was
How
in
about
there.
The Green Berets.
The FBI, the Green Berets.
And the FBA, too.
And the FBA. And the AT&T.
Gain of 1, second down. And now they got Beltram in, and Eddie Curry made a good hit, but he's hurt. I think he might have a slight concussion or something, Steve, because he's pointing to his head. He's very woozy coming off the field.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. They give it to Beltram right here, and he goes real low on Beltram. Right there he is. He goes low on him, and a real nice tackle, but he paid the price.
By the way, Mark Smith is okay, Steve. I think I see him over there because I see number 8 with a big neck brace.
That's real nice to see, Dan.
On the sideline.
We were really worried about that kid last week. It's good to see he's up and around.
No gain. 3rd and 3. Antioch trying to tie this one up. Pate to throw. Throws to the corner. Touchdown, Antioch! What a nice pass that time to D'Lo Hilton. He went over D'Angelo Mathis to catch that ball, and Antioch is an extra point away from tying up this ball game.
And, you know, Joey Pate just, every once in a while he gets his confidence up, Dan. Let's watch a replay right here. And right here, Dan, it's just a 2-step drop. He throws it over towards the pylon over there in the corner, and look at this. What a nice adjustment. Goes up and gets it. He says, I'm taller than you, and we got 6 points.
After the extra point, we're going to go down to Joey with a report. But here's Joey Pate. Pate accounted for all the points Antioch scored last week. 4
Wasn't that a
touchdowns,
great game, Dan?
4 extra points. How about last night? 1,000 yards.
Oh, my God.
48-41.
I got whiplash watching them teams run up down the field.
Pate puts the extra point up, and the theme of tonight's game is to just kind of pooch it through. 7-7, 6:49 to go. We're sending it down to Joey Acuna. Go, Joey.
Thanks, Dan. Injury update, number 11, Edward Curry was injured on the shoulder. He is questionable. They're working on him right now, but he looks okay. He might be returning. Back up to you.
Thanks, Joey.
He's got that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire suit on.
Is that the one that Regis wears?
Regis. He borrowed that from Regis today.
Oh, did he? Did he?
Yes, he did. And I said, Joey, you need to phone a friend.
You know what I'd like to borrow from Regis?
Oh, my God. You know, I'm afraid to ask this, but I'm going to go out on a limb. Dan?
Kelly Ripa. That's who I'd like to borrow from Regis. I don't need a tie. I just need Kelly Ripa.
You are truly amazing. Sick, but amazing.
Thank you. Great crowd out here today, Steve, as always. There's really a lot. I think there's a bigger crowd from the Antioch side than there has been in recent years.
They're really, Dan, for the years we've been doing it, it's really packed over there. Maybe they knew something we didn't know, Dan.
Well, Pittsburgh beat Antioch 41-21 here 2 years ago. The first game we did, that's when Rene Lopez went crazy and ran for 258 yards.
Right.
And then last year over in Antioch, Pittsburgh shut Antioch down, 94 yards of total offense, 27-6. The Pirates win. So here we are, 7-7, and that's a very high kick. And that's Robinson. And Robinson's knee touched at the 24-yard line. That's where Pittsburgh's going to take over with 6:49 to go, Steve. And you know what? That's all we root for here. We root for a good game.
That's right.
We root for no injuries. We root for overtime. And occasionally we root for a window so we can cut up on someone.
And, Dan, I got to be honest with you. I'm an Antioch guy. I root for Antioch to win.
Well, of course you do.
But, I got to be, that's politically incorrect, but what the hell?
I'm going to tell Coach Cockrum you said that.
You tell Coach? No, don't tell him that, please. What do I got to do to get you not to tell him?
Well, probably.
Dan, let me interrupt you. Right here, this drive could be the drive of the game right here. If Antioch could stop them and, get the ball back. But so far, it looks like every time they get the ball, they get 8 or 9 yards. But if they can go in at halftime tied up 7-7, that whole momentum stuff goes to Antioch.
Well, Simonton there moves the chains with a gain of 11, and he's doing something, although he's limping, Steve.
He's limping now.
He might have got hurt on that play. He is doing what he usually doesn't do, and that's he's really hitting guys and causing guys to miss tackles.
Oh, he's hurt, Dan. When you take your helmet off and you're halfway off, you're hurt. Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. And right here, he picks up his usual 11 yards, almost his average, this kid. But right there, you can't tell, but he's limping, and somebody fell on his ankle, and that's probably still tender, Dan, from his injury.
Robinson, 114 yards last week, though, in a relief effort to Simonton, and 181 the week before against Deer Valley, and this is Robinson. And Robinson is hit at the line of scrimmage by Redmond. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 with 6:25 to go in the half.
Dan, I'd like to see that again. Jesse Williams, what he did right there, if we get that on replay. I hope Carter can get it on replay. Let's watch this, Dan. Watch his foot right here, Dan. He gets stuffed, and watch his foot triple. Watch it right there. And it just comes up and trips him and knocks him for about a 2-yard loss. Great work in the truck. Ron Carter and Matt Bollinger. Good job, guys. I wanted to show that. That was a great play. And Joel Matson, good play, Joel.
2nd down and a whistle, and I think either a procedure at the line or too much time here, Steve. Steve, Pittsburgh, we mentioned on their offense, they like to run the ball. The stat that just stands out here is that Antioch's defense has given up almost.
False start, offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Go ahead, Dan.
They've given up almost as many yards rushing as Pittsburgh has gained over this year, and I think
that tells you that's a
we
big
take a look
stat.
at the comparison so far, statistic-wise. Pittsburgh has rushed for 108 yards already. Antioch's passed for 66. That's really what has to happen to have this go. But a very even game so far, Steve, with the turnover for each team, as we see some nice signs and some old-timers here at Pittsburgh, and 7-7 on the scoreboard.
I think for Antioch to have a chance, Dan, they're going to call timeout here. I think Pate's got to throw for about 270 yards and maybe 3-4 touchdowns for Antioch to have a chance.
We're going to send it down to Joey Acuna with an update.
Dan, number 4, Steve Simonton, injured his left ankle. They're wrapping it up right now. He is questionable. Back upstairs to you.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, Steve, we got a surprise for you. Your top 10 sayings. We're going to do the first 5 here in the first half. Here we go. Number 10, let's take a look at that replay.
Okay.
Number 9, he'd make a train take a dirt road. Number 8, he's running with authority. Number 7, they shot themselves in the foot.
Oh, yeah. That's
and
me.
number 6, you got to take their hats off to them. Top 5 will come in the second half. Steve Sanchez sayings here that made you a legend.
Oh, yeah,
Not only
right.
in your hometown. At Los Lomas, folks, you should see him. They bring him cakes and stuff. They bring him Snapples.
Speaking of cakes, it's Fred Wills' wife, Kathy Wills' birthday. And I delivered her cake to her, and there was so many candles on it, and it was so big, Billy Wills and Fred Wills had to help me carry it out of my truck into their house.
Duffy to throw. He's looking for Amaral, and he overthrows Amaral. Good coverage that time from Lontavius Johnson. And it's going to be 3rd and 15, Steve, so we're going to give you a shot at a location. Now, remember where we're going. That's Antioch over there.
No, Antioch's over there.
No, Antioch's over there. That's the steel mill right there. That's the river.
You know what? You can see everything from up here. You know what? You've been right all these years. I'm wrong. Look at the mill's over there. Antioch's over there. You've been right.
One time you said it was the Concord Pavilion. It was a total different way.
Oh, it's totally different direction.
So 3rd and what?
3rd and Costco.
Okay, there you go. Finally.
Well, I didn't know the direction. You got to get me up in a booth so I can see, Dan.
I'll have to put you in a helicopter next time. 3rd and 15. Duffy to throw. Inside screen. Oh, that was dangerous. He was looking for Hines, and Tim Whittle came across.
Tim Whittle almost got a gift.
Almost intercepted that, Steve.
Let's watch this replay right here, Dan. Let's watch Jesse Williams from the outside. Here comes some pressure. They tried to sit that screen up, and thank God he didn't catch it because he had half of student body in front of him.
You know how good that's going to be reviewing that, though? Whittle read that play.
Yes, he did.
That's a sophomore who just came up last week to play on varsity, and he read that inside screen and made a great play.
Dan, Antioch's going to get the ball with about 5.5 left here in the first half. If they can get on the board right here, and they almost blocked that punt.
And then Billy Gay just rocketed a punt that's bouncing.
He kicked that ball to Hazels.
Now that you know which way we're going, you can use a couple of locations.
And while you're there, give me a Willie burger,
Well,
Dan.
yes, sir. Say hello to Willie and the family over there, although I don't think they own Hazels anymore.
What the heck? They still make good burgers.
They make good burgers. The ball be at the 19-yard line. Great punt that time by Gay. Steve, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that was about a 55-yard kick.
I talked to his dad before the game. He said, you and Wall are killing me. That's all he said.
I'll never forget the softball tournament I played with him. He only played once, but he had a ball so far, Steve. I don't think it's landed yet.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's a strong man.
He played professionally. He played professionally in the United States Football League.
Oh, there you go. I call him Mr. Black.
He used to be a bodyguard for Don Rickles. Have him tell those stories one night when you're sitting with him. Pate's going to be sacked here on first down. Good pressure that time by the Pirates. Someone has his arm around Joey Pate, and I see Fuentes there, and I see Wright. So Pittsburgh and Antioch in a standoff here, Steve. Here's another look
Let's
at it.
watch 64 and 65. Here comes 54. He makes the initial contact.
That's Albini.
That's Albini, and somebody's got him in a chokehold. That might be the Samoan, just because it's a chokehold. I'm going to guess.
His great uncle Peter Mavia.
Peter Mavia taught him that move. When you get the quarterback down, choke him.
Loss of 5 on the play. 2nd and 15 for Antioch. 4:37 to go, tied at 7. Johnson, good run this time.
Oh!
Lontavius Johnson
Nice
just
run.
one step away from breaking it, Steve, as he's tripped up far sideline. Yet he got back about 7. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
And Dan, they ran on that right side of Billy Wills and John Sino and Ryan Norris on the right side. There's some good blocks right there. There's Sino and Wills open up the hole for him. And he just kind of did his James Brown and did the split and fell down. Hey! Ton of people say. Hey! He said, jump back, almost had a first down. Darn. Ton of people say, jump back, kiss myself, no hot tub here today. Hey! That's me.
That's enough. 3rd and 8.
Here's a good throw.
Oh, that was a nice throw.
Good throw.
Right in front of Hart, and that's David Nolan and Antioch moving the chains out to the 31-yard line. Good look at the Pittsburgh sideline.
And right here, here's Joey. Dan, he's getting good protection again. This line's doing a real good job. And look at this throw. Hello. Boy, Joey, I tell you one thing. That guy, when, for being 5'10", when he throws the ball, he's got a little mustard on it.
He might have the best arm outside of Matt Gutierrez in this league.
You may be right.
And Herc Pardee told me that he was the best quarterback he saw in the passing league.
The passing league, yeah. And another guy who can throw that, J.C. Lewis. That boy can throw the ball.
Threw for over 300 yards last night. Eric Carey ran for 265, 1,000 yards, 48-41. And Joey Pate calls a timeout. We want them to rematch in the playoffs, Steve.
Yes, we do.
Let's take a look at Antioch's season so far, Steve. We had a great game with them, 34-34 against Monte Vista. Then they lost to Granada. And have you seen what happened to Granada?
All of a sudden,
they lost 6 games in league. They went 0-6 in their league.
And they're always a power over there.
Then they beat California, lost to Liberty, as you take a look at Steve Simonton and the band getting ready for halftime. And then, Steve, they beat Deer Valley, and then everything looked pretty good at 2-2-1. And then they had that big 3 against Freedom, De La Salle, and Ignacio, where they got outscored by a whole lot of points. But last week they came back 31-28. But let's just mention some of these injured players. Aaron McGee out with a virus. Joey Loma out with a broken arm. Paul Giovacchini out with an ankle injury. Jorge Lopez is playing, and he has a broken arm.
He's walking, though.
Yeah. Justin Gebeline has a concussion. Anthony Trucks broke his wrist. There's a guy who's going on to play Division I football next year. Steven Stout has a knee injury. Mark Smith has a neck injury. We were told Zach Robinson wasn't going to play today.
And McGee's got a viral.
I mentioned that one already.
Did you? Oh, I'm sorry.
But it was 12 seconds ago, so you've probably forgotten by now.
And you are who? Go ahead, Dan.
I'm not the big Samoan.
No, you're not, because I'd be choked to death if I was.
First down with 3:22 to go in the half. Tied at 7. Pate to throw. Looking for Hilton. And Hilton is out of bounds. That was kind of nutty. Robinson was over there on coverage. He lost his shoe, or Hilton lost his shoe.
Well, Dan, I'll tell you the one thing about it. It was a good throw. He just dropped the ball. He had his man beat, and Joey put it right where you need to put it. Let's watch it right here. Let's watch where this ball ends up and see if he just doesn't drop it, Dan. Yeah, you got to catch that ball.
And Hilton, I think he might have been thrown off by the fact he got a little push.
And his shoe came off. Antioch's offensive line has been doing a good job early, Dan, in this game. They've really been, they've risen to the task so far of protecting Joey, and that's what they need to do. He has to have protection to be effective.
Oh, Steve, that little handoff where they deception play, but Bazan came over and said, that's worth about 7.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you 7, and I'm not going to give you 7 1/4.
I still don't know what this play's called, Steve. But
well, you know what it's called? The wraparound draw. And that's what it is. And there it is, wraparound draw, and he gets to the side. And watch number 40 come up here and just put an end to this madness. Unbelievable.
That's what we need to do in Afghanistan.
That right there just says, boom. You're the guy you're the bearded guy who's funding the money. Boom.
Yeah, put an end to this
End
madness.
of it. Put it into the madness. It's over with. Now
3rd and 4.
Now we're going after the other bearded guy.
Yeah, just keep going till we run out of them. Pate with play action. Pate throws. This is Rowe, and Rowe tiptoes the sideline and gets an Antioch first down at the 47-yard line. And Antioch is this is the best game I've seen them play. Even in those other games, they were getting ran over. O'Rourke had 250 yards last week, and against Deer Valley, they only scored 7 points, and against Los Lomas, they blew a big lead. But tonight, they're playing toe-to-toe with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, Dan, you look at last week, Clayton Valley had 320 yards rushing on them. You're coming in here to Pittsburgh. They got the big Samoan, Murillo. They got gorillas that have been running for like 300 yards average a game, and they're coming over here, and you're thinking, with all them guys, they're in trouble. Frank Rowe's having a good first half, like he always does. But you're right, Dan. I couldn't agree with you more. It's the best game so far they've had this year.
There's Coach Cochran, and I'm sure he's not too thrilled with the fact that Antioch's still in this ball game at halftime. But I think they knew that he even said that when I met with him. We need to be careful. We can't let up on this. Pate to throw. Goes up the sideline to Rowe, and he overthrows Rowe. He overthrows Orlando. He almost overthrew the fans on that sideline.
And
Steve.
if we get him to overthrow Afghanistan, we'll be doing very well.
Unbelievable. I want to say hi to some of my friends out here. I saw Laura Vigil. She brought us donuts.
She brought us what kind of donuts,
we
Dan?
Need Krispy Kremes. We need to pan the cheerleaders, Ron, when we get an opportunity. Pan the cheerleaders, because both of her daughters are cheerleaders, and Laura and I go back 25 years in high school.
Laura Vigil
there they are.
Yeah, there they are.
That's our first half look. We need to get them in the second half.
Laura Vigil bought us Krispy Kremes. The only thing I can say about her, she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
And I agree. Yeah. And that time, that was not at the most beautifulest. It's beautifulest.
Beautifulest is a word. Well, you can use it in scramble. Let's watch this replay, Dan.
Beautifulest.
Well, I get excited when I think about Krispy Kremes. When I drive by in the freeway, I start shaking when I drive by. Those things are good, Dan.
I know. We were coming by on the way over to the game, and Steve was having convulsions.
Oh,
Krispy Kremes.
Krispy Kremes. They're unbelievable. I want to get a job there when I retire from UPS.
Raymond Ferrani's here, too. I grew up with Raymond back on Burton Avenue in Pittsburgh. Amazing. 3rd down. Pate to throw. Again, Pate finds Nolan in a seam, and Nolan has another Antioch first down at the 39-yard line. Bazan went back from the linebacker position to make the tackle.
You know what's amazing about that story? Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. Let me get back to Burton Avenue on you on that. But right here, here's Pate in the pocket. Right here, he throws it. Look at it. He's been on the money, Dan, all day. And they're moving the chains, and that's what they got to do to be successful. The amazing thing about Burton Avenue, you are still alive, bro.
I survived Burton Avenue.
My God,
Tommy Lopez and Timmy Lopez lived on that street. The Moffats lived over there with me.
Oh, my God. Look at those
Raymond
names.
Ferrani.
Look at those names.
Hell, I think they saved me. Pate to throw. Looking for Hilton. Oh, Hilton makes a great catch. You know what, Steve? Pittsburgh is not reacting on defense. Again, in front of Hart, Hilton came back to that ball, makes a great catch. Down it looks like they're going to spot this about the 16-yard line.
Let's watch this, Dan. He gets a ton of pressure right here. And Joey under the gun, right in his face, throws it up a prayer, and it's answered right here by the Reverend Hilton.
You know, Hilton has really come out. He's got 3 catches for 33 yards, but no Maurice Tyner. No Anthony Trucks, no Mark Smith. Those are the starting receivers. I think Hilton really has been a very valuable Antioch Panther. He's played very well.
He has stepped up.
Pate to throw. Hilton again. There's a penalty, though. Yeah. That was a flea flicker, Steve.
Ooh.
There wasn't any fleas or flicks or anything. No. That just failed.
They got a flag down. I don't know if they're going to get Antioch for movement. Usually when you have a play like that, they're going to get the offense for some sort of movement. Give me the replay here, Ron Carter. And let's watch this replay right here. They try to do the flea flicker, and you're right, Dan. Well, here's the flea. There's the flick.
And there's
the
that didn't work too. Oh, man.
And that was just like a train wreck.
Nolan got hammered by a D'Angelo Mathis, who came in from the cornerback spot and made that hit. So, but they're going to take the penalty here, Steve, and it's or no, did they take the penalty?
I don't know what they did.
I don't think they took it. They declined that penalty. It's 2nd and 7 at the 13-yard line. And now Antioch is calling a timeout.
That's
Steve.
a smart timeout with a minute to go right now. Regroup and see what you can do. Go ahead, Dan.
We talked about Antioch's season. Let's talk about Pittsburgh's season. Pittsburgh started a week early, Steve, and they went down to Buchanan and Clovis, and they lost by 1 point.
And they're a very powerful team down there.
And then I got to tell you a story. But before I continue, Steve, I do want to tell you that if you'd like to know about the game of the week, if you'd like to tell us what you think of the game of the week, give us a call at 933-6264. And you can hear Rush in the background and see our little American flag there, Go USA.
And I always say, Dan, we'd really appreciate if you really wouldn't tell us what you really think. But tell us what you think.
Then there was the game at Logan, and I'll tell you, when I talked to Coach Cochran this week, he gave me a half-hour dissertation about what really happened in the Logan game, because, he got tossed out of that one.
Could you tell me in 30 seconds?
No,
okay.
I couldn't tell you in 30 minutes.
All right.
Then they beat Oakland here 67-0. They had 5 yards of total offense in that game, Steve. Lost to Ignacio, beat Clayton, lost to De La Salle, and now they're working on 3 straight wins over Liberty, Deer Valley, and Freedom. Last week they beat Freedom 35-21. Of course, they need to win tonight to go 6-4 and solidify that playoff berth. 2nd and 7. 1 minute to go in the first half. Pate throws. He launches one up. That was a horrible throw by Joey Pate on that one play. It was intended for Frank Rowe, intercepted by Jamar Hines, and Joey Pate was having a great game up to that pass, Steve.
Well, Dan, he kind of just threw this a little bit early and kind of hung it up in the air and let the defender react to it. And luckily, Antioch recovered when they did. They got 53 seconds. He threw off his back foot going backwards, Dan. And let's see if somebody just a defensive push somewhere. But we don't see it on the replay. Nice tackle right there by Rowe.
53 seconds to go, first half, 7-7. Pittsburgh with the ball. They need to go 90 yards in less than a minute. And the ball's on the ground.
Antioch's got it.
Antioch's got it back.
Yes. Number 79, Mr. Williams.
Jesse Williams,
yes,
who played
sir.
a great game last week. And tell his story, Steve, after this play, but here's the replay.
Here's the replay, Dan, and right here, Antioch gets a big break inside a minute to go. They're going to have 4 chances to get in the end zone. Let's see if he ever had control of it. I don't think he ever had it, but there's Mr. Opportunity, Jesse Williams, on the ball, and that kid right there, he was trying to play wide receiver, Dan, and they told him he was 4th on the depth chart and that he was going to have to look somewhere else. He looked at the coach in the eye and said, I'll play anywhere you want me to play. They put him on the defensive line, and due to injuries, he's got some playing time. He's 6'4", 180, so he's tall and slender, like Ted Hendricks-like, but the kid has made some plays, and he's really stood out down the stretch for Antioch.
Well, he made one there with the recovery. Antioch at the 7, first down. Pate running the option. Steve, though, there's certain plays I get, and that's one I don't.
Yeah.
And you could see Bazan, Albini, they were all there. Wright was over there.
Dargan, Napoleon Dargan, number 89, was in on it. Let's watch it right here. Let's watch 89. Dargan does a real good job. Napoleon right here. It gets turned in, and you're right, Dan. Sometimes you just don't understand. He's down there, and he gets all kinds of help. I go to the end zone 3 times right here throwing the ball.
Alex Toena was also in on that tackle, and Steve Dargan's in for Curry right now. Here's Pate. Pate is pressured, and there's Dargan again. A huge loss of about 9. This is going to bring up a third actually, and very long for Antioch.
Yeah.
That's they call timeout, Steve.
That's a play, Dan, where I thought they should have called timeout before they even ran that play. They're kind of down close right in there. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And here it is right here. They were kind of rushing things. He has to get rid of the ball, and that's a big loss right there. It takes him out of field goal range. Even though Joey did kick a 42-yarder a couple weeks ago against Clayton Valley, I guess he'd have a shot at it. But it's one of those things where you thought maybe we're down here about on the 15, let's call time and throw a couple plays in the end zone and try to get on these guys. You got to roll the dice against Pittsburgh right here. You're a big underdog right here. You've got the opportunity to take the upper hand on them at halftime.
Well, you know who I'd throw the ball to right now, don't you?
Frank Rowe.
That's right. And there he is right there in the picture.
Number 88.
I'd spread the field, send the wide receivers to the flags, and throw over the safety to Rowe. And Rowe is going to come out with in this formation, which will be strong right. It's 3rd, and Steve, I'm going to say it's 3rd and City Park for a first down.
Well, there's the trees right there.
They're going to run that fade, though. There's Nolan. Oh, what a pass! Touchdown!
Touchdown, Antioch.
Over Hart again, Steve. And David Nolan finds the end zone with 3 seconds to go in the first half. A 19-yard touchdown pass from Joey Pate. And you know what Al Anthony said, we can't give it away, but we might if this keeps up.
Yeah.
It's 13-7.
Let's watch the replay, Dan, and it looked like Nolan might have got away with a little bit of a push. Let's watch right here. Let's see if we can't see it at the end, Dan. Let's see with his left hand. If he doesn't push off, I can't see.
No.
But anyway, it's a good catch and a good touchdown. It must have been, but the guy was right there. He mustn't have pushed off as he threw a flag.
I think you got to let them fight with their hands
Yeah,
to
I
kind
think
of
so, too.
find that range there. Pate for the extra point. The kick is up and right down the uprights. It's good. 3 seconds to go. First half, 14-7 Antioch.
Go figure.
Can you believe it?
Nope.
Unbelievable. Antioch came out fired up. That's what we always say about this game, though, Steve. You throw the records right out the door.
You know, you told me that you're going to throw them right out the window. I said they'll arrest you for littering if you do it this year. But you know what? You're absolutely right, Dan. Cliche number 10. You're absolutely right. This is that's why they call it the big little game, folks. You never know what's going to happen.
I don't think we had that one on there yet, Steve. Or did we?
Hey, this guy's bugging you.
Yes, I want to hear some names,
we already mentioned Raymond Ferrani down there.
Raymond Ferrani, we always mentioned you. We already called your name.
Here at 3 o'clock.
Raymond lived right down the street.
On Burton Avenue, right?
On Burton
Yeah,
Avenue.
there you go.
And we had there was all kinds of
My
people.
God,
over
this
there.
story again.
It was a good one. Well, I've told you who I grew up with in Antioch.
Who?
Dwight Dobson, Glenn Harper, John
dead,
Hinojosa.
Dead.
No, they're not. No. There's a whole group of people over there. I don't know if I'm lucky or getting out of Antioch or getting out of Pittsburgh. I really don't know, Steve, but someday we might know. Hatch will kick, and I would assume that they're going to squib kick this because they do not want to give Pittsburgh the opportunity. And they kind of pooch it, but Robinson might be able to bring this one back. Here's Robinson at the 15. This will be the last play of the first half, and Robinson's still on his feet. Oh, man. And he got hammered by number 22, Damon Anderson, after a nice return. That'll wrap up the first half. After this first half of play in the 83rd annual Big Little Game. Steve, give us your final impressions of the half. Antioch leads 14-7.
Well, Dan, is kind of a shocker right now early. He's still down, but I think Whittle was in on that tackle too, Dan, 43. But anyway, Dan, I think that Antioch has really put together a first half. I think their game plan has been good. They've been throwing the ball. They really haven't been too effective running, but Joey Pate has been very effective.
We'll be back after this with the second half of action on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Hey, get me out of here! Help! Help! Help!
Wow, a filter that talks.
Wow, a human that doesn't know throwing an oil filter in the garbage can will pollute our landfills and our environment.
I've got a better plan for the future of Mr. Filter. After changing your oil and filter, place the filter in a sealed plastic bag. Make sure it doesn't leak, and take it to a certified used oil and filter collection center. They will then properly dispose of Mr. Filter in an environmentally friendly way.
Hey, wait a second. Don't close that door. Don't close it. Whoa!
Recycle your used oil filters for a cleaner future. For more information, call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out my website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back at Pittsburgh High School, halftime of the 83rd Big Little game, and Antioch leads Pittsburgh 14-7. Steve Sanchez, as we take a look at the halftime statistics, Antioch doing pretty well passing the ball. They've passed for 132 yards with Joey Pate throwing for 2 interceptions. Haven't been able to run it all. That's pretty much the story we thought would take hold. Pittsburgh's been able to run the ball behind Robinson and Simonton. Simonton has 76 yards, but they have not been able to throw. The turnovers have been very big. The last one, the fumble that Antioch gave them the last chance to go ahead by 7, was the big turnover.
It really was, Dan, and it opened the door for Antioch. Antioch cashed in, and they took the lead at halftime, and so that's where we're at.
Let's take a look at the touchdowns in the first half. The first one was Brian Robinson. Robinson on a 21-yard run here, Stephen. You can see this is just typical Pittsburgh power running football.
Oh, yeah, he keeps his balance, turns upfield right there, makes a nice move to elude a tackler and hits for the pylon, and his speed takes over there and scores a touchdown.
The first Antioch touchdown was to Hilton on a 3-yard pass, a little fade pass. Hilton has 4 receptions for 36 yards and a touchdown. Nice pass by Joey
Just a
Pate
one-step fade, Dan, just like he said. He throws to the pylon right here, and he makes a good adjustment on it. Now jumps his man, and there's Antioch on the board.
And Antioch with 3 seconds left in the half. A nice pass here to Nolan. Nolan, the player of the game for Antioch so far, 4 catches, 64 yards in this touchdown, Steve.
Real nice throw by Joey. He puts it only where his man can get to it, and he puts it outside where the defender can't. And Antioch capitalized on that turnover. That's the play of the game so far, Dan.
Antioch has ran 38 offensive plays to 20 for Pittsburgh. We'll be back in 2 minutes to kick off the third quarter here on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay, and most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Thanks, Dan. I'm here with a coach for the Pirates, Coach Cockerham. You're down 14-7. You were able to rush the ball. Are you planning on changing the offense a little bit more, probably go to the air a little bit more?
No, we're not going to do anything different. Unfortunately for us right now, we're facing a very hot Antioch team. They're throwing the ball up, and the receivers are making plays. We're right there, but we're just not making the plays like we have in the past. So we're just going to have to intensify what we do. And as you know, Joy, that's what makes this a great rivalry.
Right. You know what? Defensively, they're picking on your corners. What do you plan on doing different this half?
No, I got 2 great corners. And they just have to tighten up their coverage a little bit, look back for the ball a little earlier, and we'll get some of those. We'll make some plays and probably get some interceptions here in the second half.
Coach, good luck in the second half. Thank you very much. Back up to you, Dennis.
And Joey braved the storm and went after Coach Cockerham. Did a good job with that interview.
Yes, he did.
The AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week. Great friends of AT&T Broadband, and one of them is Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Those are the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters in Concord and Pittsburgh. 14 screens in Concord, 16 in Pittsburgh of movie magic. Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters.
And Dave Jackson starring his Funnelhead.
And Paramount Technology of Concord. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. So, Steve, it's pretty obvious in the second half. Pittsburgh needs to stop Antioch on this first possession. They need to tighten up a little bit and not turn the ball over. And they need to get the ball into the hands of either Robinson or Simonton and try to punish the Antioch defense, who does give up a lot of yardage on the ground.
Well, Dan, the last time we seen Simonton, he was on the sidelines with an ice pack, and I don't see number 4 out there right now. I've been looking for him, and I don't see him. I don't know if he's gonna. I'd like to ask Joey if Simonton's gonna play. That could be a big thing right there, Dan, if he's out.
Other great friends of AT&T Broadband, Rock Bottom Records, where this week you can pick up new records by Seven Dust, Green Day, and your favorite band, Steve, the Bare Naked Ladies. New Mecca Cafe of Pittsburgh, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylists for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. Steve, who's a great friend of the program?
Well, these two guys remind me of Matt Bolander and Ron Carter, and they made a movie together. Can you tell me who they are?
Dumb and Dumber?
That's him.
That was too easy. That was like Barry Bonds hitting number 73. You know who was a great friend of the program here, a great friend of the Big Little Game? Tony Knapp. Remember Tony Knapp, who was a great coach here at Pittsburgh High School? There we are, Steve. Steve, come out behind the TV. There you are. There he is with his sunglasses
Touchdown.
on. Yes, thank you. And Tony Knapp, Dave Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, went on and coached at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Utah State. I was one of those middle of the nowhere towns.
Out there in Winnemucca, Nevada.
I thought he went to UNLV at one point in his career. Dave Jackson could tell the story.
Oh my God!
Write it down for me. Tell me the story.
Dave Jackson played with Babe Ruth.
Remember, we have to do the top running backs and linemen for Pittsburgh and Antioch in this quarter.
Okay.
Steve, so tap
well,
me
we got Antioch top linemen.
We got Antioch top linemen and Pittsburgh top running backs.
Oh my God.
Zerbini to kick. Antioch will get the ball here to start the second half. Pittsburgh needs to stop them, obviously, down by 7.
I'll tell you what, Dan, if Antioch could go punch one in right now, they could put an awful lot of pressure on them.
And that ball goes into the end zone, so Antioch's going to be forced to start here from the 20-yard line, Steve. Joey Pate had a great first half, and if Dave Jackson would show me the stats, I could tell you about it.
Yeah, he's funny that way.
12 of 18 for 132, 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Each team had 2 turnovers, Steve, a fumble and an interception, but Antioch was able to capitalize on theirs, and thus the 14-7 lead. You have anything to say?
Yeah, Dan. Joey Pate had a real good first half, 12 for 16.
Didn't I just say that?
Yeah, but he had.
Are you reiterating that fact?
Yes, I am. You told me, do I want to touch on anything? I just said, you know what? I'm out of here.
Bye.
Let's get McGannon up here. McGannon do this with
Jimbo
you.
McGannon. He's down there in the stands.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh stands, that moron.
You can say that about Jimmy McGannon. First down. And a penalty.
Well, his wife went to school over here, and I guess he's got a cousin who's her niece who's a cheerleader. And
Antioch only ran for 6.
Offense, 5 yards, still first down.
There's the call from the field. Antioch will be faced with a 1st and 15. They only ran for 16 yards in the first half, Steve.
Yeah, they really got snuffed at the line, and Joey Pate really bailed them out, throwing the ball wise, and they need another half from him, Dan, just like that.
Steve, here's some of the best. There's the breakdown. Here's a couple of guys. Here's one you'll know. Top running backs out of Pittsburgh, John Henry Johnson. So we're going to go with him. Mulligan Ania, Charlie Verdusco, Denny Pappas, and Tom Robin, the first 5 on that list. And we went to Bill Mercado, the expert out here on high school football for that. First down, Pate to throw. He throws for Hilton. Hilton's still on his feet. Hilton's making great moves, playing a great game today.
Oh, very good game.
He's finally hit by Orlando. And I believe Javier Fuentes might have been right on that play.
Yeah, let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And Joey's picking up right where he left off in the first half. He's getting time again, and Billy Wills is doing a good job, and Sino's doing a good job on that right side. And right there, he hits him in the numbers. And here's Hilton. He's trying to get loose, get in the secondary, and make some things happen. Take this play, Dan.
Antioch got 10 of those yards back, 2nd and 5, and they run a nice misdirection play to Lontavius Johnson. And if Johnson can get outside of Jamar Hines, he would have had a big gain, but Hines makes a good tackle. It's going to bring up the 3rd and 3 here, Steve, early in the 3rd quarter.
Real nice tackle by Hines. Yeah, let's watch the replay right here. They do a little misdirection right here. And right here's Johnson on the outside. Watch Hines close the gap right here, and he doesn't get nothing. Good tackle.
By the way, Steve, we failed to mention, join us next weekend. There's been a lot of question. We're going to do a playoff game next Friday night. We don't know what playoff game. We could be in Walnut Creek. We could be in Pittsburgh. We could be in Diablo Valley College. But we'll have a game, and we'll also tell you about this game being replayed as Antioch gets another first down on a pass, that time in front of number 7, Keith Christopher. And the reception to Nolan, and Nolan is real. You know the thing that's strange, Steve? They have all these injuries. Think of how good Antioch's offense could have been, should have been, if all these guys had been healthy all year.
Exactly. You can't touch base on that. So that you got to give credit, Dan, to these guys who are playing in their place right now. These kids have really stepped up. And Dan, cliché number 8, you got to take your hats off to them.
150 yards for Pate early here in the 3rd quarter. Pate to throw on first down. And this is the one thing that does hinder Joey Pate, is he's not the most elusive guy on the planet, and Pittsburgh has a very big and active line, and Javier Fuentes was there for the sack.
Yeah, Javier Fuentes, let's watch it. Right here, there's a total breakdown right here, Dan, on the line, and right here, this is the first time Joey's really, he didn't have chance to do nothing right there. Just, they busted through like a train wreck and really got to him. There's Coach Cochran.
Albini was there, and there's Coach Cochran, and thanks to, they spent an hour and a half with me on Tuesday getting me ready. Jimmy Shipe was in that picture. Also on that play, the Samoan Night Train, Alex Toena, and I also saw Albini in on that play, Steve. So a lot of Pirates in on that. Loss of 6, 2nd and 16 for Antioch with 9:37 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Panthers lead 14-7 in the 83rd Big Little game. Pate to throw, short drop. Looking for Hilton. Hilton zigged. Joey wanted him to zag, and that pass was overthrown by about 10 yards. We're going to send it down on the field. I think Joey's ready. Yes, he is. Joey has a very special guest. Let's send it down to Joey Acuna.
Thanks, Dan. If you notice here, we got Tim Manley from Antioch, also from Pittsburgh. You were the first person, I guess, to transfer from Pittsburgh over to Antioch, right?
In the 70s. That's what I was told, in the 70s, yeah.
Now you played for both teams, and you played back in the great rivalries back then. Tell us about them.
That's right. I played as a junior. I played here, transferred over to Antioch High School, and we beat Pitt. We did Pitt in, and it was a lot of fun. Played with a lot of guys that I went to high school with over there, made new friends over there. This is still the best rivalry in town. You can't find it. No matter what other schools come around, the Pitt-Antioch game will always be the Big Little game.
Now, where are you working now?
Work for Antioch High School, but this is home of the superstars, Pittsburgh High School. But that's where I work now. Got to take care of my family over there, but orange and black is still bleeds within.
Back to you guys, Tim Manley.
I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for that, but I love both schools. That one's red. It's not red anymore.
Back to action. Thanks, Tim Manley, for that. Brian Hatch just saved Antioch. That could have been a disaster as he dropped the snap, got off that kick. Let me comment on a couple of things. First of all, Tim Manley went to school with him, a great guy.
Right.
And do you remember that game when he was playing here when he was a junior in 76, one of the best endings ever? Tony Emerson from Pittsburgh was running down the sidelines, headed for a touchdown, was knocked out of bounds on the 1-yard line, last play of the game. And Antioch won that game in my senior year, 20-14.
And if I could add something, that man cooks some mean ribs.
Oh, man. The best ribs I've ever had.
That's right, me too.
I said, here's my credit card.
He brought us a rack of ribs, and I racked most of them.
Yeah. You don't want to put food near you.
No.
This Simonton is in the game.
Yes, he is. There he is.
They wrapped up that ankle, and a typical Simonton run of 8 yards.
Yeah, that's about his av.
Into Antioch territory. Good tackle that time by Lontavius Johnson. So
let's watch a replay right here, Dan. They just run on Pittsburgh's left side of Keith Gripe and Will Collins and Wade Rodriguez on the left side. There's some good blocks by them guys right there, and there's some other guys out in front. Nice tackle by Johnson.
Gain of 7. 2nd and 3 from the 48-yard line. Duffy, deep handoff. This is Simonton. Oh, nice play, though, that time. by number 76, Steve. And this is why Antioch has some hope. Ruben Luna, another sophomore.
Yeah, Ruben Luna made a real good play right there. Let's watch him get to these. This is what you call tripping a guy up. He breaks through the line right here, Dan. 76, here's Luna, reaches for him and just gets him by the shoelace and that's what you call tripping him up big time. And that had something in the makings right there. You got Beltram closing in on him, but real nice play by Luna.
3rd and 2. Simonton wasn't set on that play, but I think they're going to allow it as Toena, the night train, smashes ahead for 5. It's going to be a first down at the 43-yard line for Pittsburgh with 7:23 to play third quarter.
Nice tackle by Beltram and Williams.
Steve, the West Coast Jamboree is going to come into Pittsburgh High School. It's going to be all over East County, but after this play, we're going to tell you about some of the big games on December 27th. We're going to tape 2 of those games and bring them to you over the holidays as we get our basketball season kicked off. Simonton on first down, straight up the middle. And you know, Steve Simonton hasn't really broken off one of those big ones that his brother was famous for,
right,
but he's been getting 8 to 10-yard chunks.
Every single time, and he's real close to breaking a long one. You really have to contain him because he will break one on you before the game's up.
Here's the games on the first day of that tournament. San Leandro, George Washington of San Francisco at noon. Arcata, St. Bonaventure at 1:30. Edison of Fresno and Ponderosa, Shingle Springs at 3. Berkeley, La Jolla at 4:30. Oakland Tech, Westchester, they're third in the state, Steve, at 6. And Pittsburgh, De Anza at 7:30. We'll tape those last 2.
Oh, look at this hit, Dan.
And Beltram, just
Holy.
Anthony Bazond. Brian Robinson there, even though Robinson was able to move the chains and a first down for Pittsburgh.
Let's watch this hit, Dan. He folds this guy like a bad poker hand. Right here. Watch this. Look at, oh, man. Beltram just rings his clock right there. What a tackle. Can't use that one again.
Bad poker hand. First down, Pittsburgh. Simonton again, a workhorse here in the third quarter, and he gets about 3. Steve, here's a couple more of those great Pittsburgh running backs we're talking about. In the fourth quarter, we're going to talk about Antioch linemen. Of course, John Henry Johnson, we mentioned, he's in the Hall of Fame. Joe Beretta, was he that guy on television, Brett?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Ramsey Sino. Now, Salcino, I know a little bit about Salcino.
I know you
He was
do.
my baseball coach, and he went to school with my right around the time of my mom and my uncle. Joe Renovar and Jim Pappas. Some more great names here. And I know Joe Renovar played when my mom graduated from Pittsburgh
And I know
High
Joe's
School.
kids, Ernie and Bobby. They went to school with me. And I know both them guys.
Simonton tripped up on that play, Steve. I think that was Beltram in on the tackle, and it was. This is going to bring up a 3rd and about 6.
Let's watch the trip right here, Dan. And right here, there's Antioch pursuing real quick, and he trips himself. Simonton made the tackle on Simonton. Talking about Joel Renovar, he played on that great team with Gino Marchetti over in San Francisco State in USF. What year was that, Jackson? Was that 54? 40? What? 49. My God, I wasn't even a twinkle in my dad's eye. That was a long time ago.
You were at Antioch in 49, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I guess I might have been.
Duffy to throw for one of the few times. Throws to the flat. And knocked out of bounds is number 21, Bill Gay, in the game. And that's going to be short of a first down, Steve. This is going to bring up a big 4th down and 3.
Oh, well, he'll go. Cochran will go right here on this side of the field. Let's watch the replay right here. Here's Zach Robinson. Here's Blay right here on the side right here, Dan. Makes a real nice catch.
It's Gay.
Gay. Did I say Bly? So I'm thinking of Bly. Gay, Bly, I don't know. His dad will let me know about it when I talk to him. Uncle Sanchez, come here when I talk to you.
You were going to point out that Bill Gay's better half is the cheerleader coach.
Mike, that's right. And her name is?
Chris Del Monte.
Thank you very much.
Who went to Antioch and was known as Chris Fox in
How
those
come
days.
everybody comes over here to Pitt who went to
I don't
Antioch?
know. It is
I
weird.
see Jones in the stands. I go, you know, because of your kid, we lost one of these big little games.
Pittsburgh calls a timeout, Steve. Let's finish the list here in the third quarter of these great running backs. Now, a lot of these guys are older guys. I had to add a couple of guys. Seaburn Hill, Vince Deroni, John Lopez, and Charlie, is that Fenbrook? But I had to add a couple. They didn't have Ken Simonton on this list.
No, they didn't.
And they didn't have Percy McGee on this list.
No.
So I had to take matters into my own hands.
And Dan, I want to take this time right now to congratulate, I know it's on the other side, Antioch's JV's cheerleaders. They took first place at Great America in competition. And Jonette Ulrich, she leads the JVs in the varsity and coaching. And she told me if I didn't tell everybody that in East County, that she'd talk to Dan Wall about it.
Well, that'll get you a cup of coffee in 6 states.
Might get you some Krispy Kremes, too, if you're real nice.
Fourth down, and the night train bangs ahead for a first down.
Yeah, he got it.
You can see what they have a very nice backfield. They've got the speedy Simonton. They've got Robinson that can go with speed and with muscle, and then Toena's just pounds.
Yeah. Let's watch this big replay right here, Dan. You're going to see Beltram. He gets through there, 33, just misses him, goes for the ankles. That's a gamble. You see Richie grabbing his head, pulling his hair out that he's trying to grab, but first down, and they move the chains, Dan. They're knocking on the door. Pittsburgh, take it.
First down from the 19. Pitch to Simonton. Simonton has blockers outside. Good pursuit, though, that time. Number 20 for Antioch, Steve Kuchak, and number 18, D'Lo Hilton, came up and stopped Simonton after a gain of 3.
Real nice tackle by Kuchak. Let's watch number 20 right here, Dan. Isolate him. Right here, here's a good pitch, and you look at, number 7 ain't going to catch him. He's after him, but he takes a corner. Watch number 20 come in here. Does a real good job, trips him up. Good job by Kuchak.
We're actually going to call that a gain of 2. If it was a gain of 3, it would have put Simonton at 100 yards. His next yard will put him over the 100-yard mark. He's gained at least 100 yards in every game Pittsburgh has played that he has participated in. Second down, Duffy to throw. He launches one up to the end zone. Oh, man. That was dangerous. Kuchak and Hilton go for the interception. Hines was laying on the ground, Steve. He almost caught that for a touchdown.
He almost caught it. Let's watch a replay. Number 20, Kuchak, I think he had the best chance at it, and Hilton comes in and takes it away from Kuchak. Let's watch number 20, Dan, right here. Let's see if he goes up. Watch number 20. Well, I don't know. They're just both going for the ball. Let's see where it hits. You hope. Boy, he tried to pull a sneak play on him, didn't he?
He did a good job, too.
Did a good job.
3rd and 8. Pittsburgh needs to get into the end zone to tie this one up. They trail 14-7. Duffy running the option this time. A deep pitch to Simonton. Guess who's out there, Steve?
Beltram.
I'll tell you what.
And Williams.
Williams came over. Richie Beltram makes a huge difference on that defense.
Oh, he really does. I mean, when you got a linebacker active as he is and, making 15 and 17 tackles a game, that's a huge part of your game plan defensive-wise. Let's watch a replay. There's over 100 yards right there. Simonton, 18 carries for 101 yards. Let's watch it right here. You got the pitch right there. And there's the pursuit right there. There's a good camera angle. And there's Williams and Beltram. Big 4th down play, Dan. Take it.
4th and 6. Huge play for Pittsburgh here in the 3rd quarter. Duffy to throw. He zips one. Steve, that was an unbelievable pass to Jamar Hines at the 5-yard line.
Boy, he just rifled that thing right in there, boy. And what a great throw that was by him. One of the better throws today, Dan, for him.
I'll tell you what, Duffy throws the ball well when he throws to the sideline and when he throws down the field in the middle of the field, but he is not very good at launching those kind of high lofting throws that Joey Pate excels at, Steve.
Yeah, no, he's really not, but boy, he played right into his strength on that play, Dan.
That was a nice pass and a first down for Pittsburgh at the 5-yard line. 2:59 to go in the 3rd quarter. 14-7 Antioch. 83rd Big Little game. Moving right along here tonight from Pittsburgh High School. First down handoff Simonton. Simonton straight up the gut, and Simonton gains 3 yards. Beltram and Williams were there, as well as Frank Rowe on defense for Antioch. We have a real good football game on our hands here,
Oh,
Steve.
we really do, Dan. Let's watch this replay right here. They're going to go on the left-hand side of Pittsburgh with Wade Rodriguez, Gripe, and Collins on the left-hand side. And they get real close to their smelling the goal line right now.
Steve, I think I failed to mention the referees today. So I'm going to mention them because I have them written down. Dan Leary, Dennis Gunnarsson, Tony Gisoletta, Mark Ernst, and Don Scott.
There you go.
Sometimes when I get too fancy and write things in different places,
you forget where you
I
wrote.
can't find them. So I found it that time. 2nd down. Pittsburgh needs to get in the end zone here. And Simonton does. Touchdown Pirates. A 3-yard run from Steve Simonton. Over 100 yards on the day. And Pittsburgh is an extra point away from tying up this game.
Let's watch a replay right here. Real nice run by Simonton. I think Sino got a little banged up on that play, Dan. Number 58 looked like he's a little wobbly right here. Let's watch this, Dan. Here's a good end zone camera view of it. Good job, cameraman. And right here, here's Steve Simonton coming into your bedroom or your living room or whatever room you're watching.
Family room.
Family room.
Zerbini for the extra point, and the kick. This is no good. The kick was no good. Whittle got in there and interrupted that snap. Amaral was the holder. Zerbini missed it. And Antioch leads 14-13 with 2:08 to go in the third quarter as we look at Pittsburgh quarterback Braxton Duffy.
Boy, Dan, and that could be a big miss. This game is closely fought right now, and I was thinking overtime, and it could happen. We pray for overtime. We haven't got one yet. But that's a big miss right there, Dan, with 2:08 to go in the third quarter. That could haunt him big time down the stretch.
Steve, we always talk about Rock Bottom Records, great records over there. Rick Armstrong, our good buddy. We saw Guillermo from the Mecca today. He told us to tell everyone hello out here, and he, of course, provides food to us. And it's starting to rain out here, Steve, and everyone's scrambling for their umbrellas. And
well, you know, Dan, we got a booth now at Pittsburgh, so we really don't have to worry about that. Hello, folks. I didn't even bring a coat. And you know, this is a nice booth. They got carpet.
Oh, I know.
And we're
can
up
see
high.
perfect.
Now I can finally give locations because I was all screwed up.
Steve, you're
Yes,
still
sir?
screwed up. Doesn't matter if we're in a booth, in a car.
But you don't want to be a guy screwed up. If you admit he's screwed up, people like him.
That's true.
You know,
that's part of your charm.
You know, I just tell you, hey, I don't know what to tell you.
You're like the singer for the Stone Temple Pilots. He'll tell you all about his problems.
And I look like Keith Richards.
Zerbini to kick. And once again, the ball rolls right into the end zone. And so Antioch is going to have to start at the 20-yard line with 2:08 to go in the third quarter. A little bit of rain falling. That could hinder Antioch, who's been moving the ball through the air. Pittsburgh found their ground game again on that last drive, and they were able to punch it in for the touchdown to not even it up, but bring them within 1 point, 14-13, Steve.
What a great game, Dan. What a great tradition we have here with Pitt and Antioch. This is so much fun. I've really enjoyed myself last few years doing this game with you.
Well, it's usually kind of a sad game because it's our last game, but we're going 3 playoff weekends in a row, so we'll have the best of the East County and the Contra Costa County for you here over the next couple of weeks. First down, and see what happens when the ball gets slick.
Yeah, that's true.
Hilton, who's made a bunch of nice catches today for Antioch, that one right in and out of his hands. That'll bring up second down.
And let's watch a replay right here, Dan. Right here, here's Joey. Takes about a 5 or 6 step drop and puts a pretty good throw on, a little bit high, but you're right, that's a throw he probably could have caught. Keep an eye on Frank Rowe, Dan. He's been a little quiet here, and he's too good of a receiver to hold down forever, so I look for Frank Rowe to make a couple plays.
And there's a nice little quick hitch to Hilton, and Hilton only gets a couple as he is tackled very hard. I'm trying to get, and now that Pittsburgh player's down on the ground, Steve.
Yeah, and Hilton's slow getting up too.
I think it's not hard. I can see hard. Oh, we might have another one of those serious head injuries, Steve. We've had a bunch of these.
God. Well, me and you here, I wouldn't doubt it.
We've had a bunch of these. The other cornerback listed on the starting lineup is D'Angelo Mathis, and whoever made that tackle made a good one, a good stick right there after a 2-yard gain. But we could have another injury, Steve. We've had injuries this year. It's just been unbelievable. Mark Smith and Jared Costanza from Alhambra. And let's hope that there's nothing seriously wrong with this Pittsburgh Pirate.
You're absolutely right, Dan. We always worry about kids when they go down like that. It's a violent game, and it just draws a lot of concern.
There's Braxton Duffy, the Pittsburgh quarterback, who's 3 of 7 for 39 yards. He's made a couple of nice passes when he had to, Steve.
Oh, yes, he has.
And there's the Antioch Panthers, who are going to have a 3rd and 8 facing them after we find out about this injured Pittsburgh Pirate. The junior varsity of coach, of course, won that championship with their earlier victory, Steve, and congratulations to them.
And that was a great game, great finish.
21-14. And Steve, there was some great games yesterday. A couple of surprises. Monte Vista beat San Ramon Valley 38-34, and they should have a pretty good playoff seeding. And Campolindo beat Alhambra. That got them more than likely got them into the playoffs with a 26-7 win over Alhambra. We're going to send it down to Joey. Go, Joey.
Dan, it's number 7, Keith Christopher. He took a blow to the head. That's what the team says. Right now, they're reevaluating the situation. The trainers are on him. He has moved, but still they're keeping him still, as the same we did for Mark Smith. Back upstairs to you.
Thanks, Joey. And you know the shocking thing about that right there? He doesn't have a raincoat.
No.
You would think Joey Acuna would have a raincoat.
You really
with
would.
With that wardrobe that he has. Now, the Antioch side was cheering, and I thought maybe that meant that Christopher was going to get up, but they're still attending to him over there on the far sideline, Steve. And let's talk a little bit about Pittsburgh's chances in the playoffs, Steve. The rumor is well, Christopher is up, and that's good news. So
yes, it is.
We should be able to keep it here, and Antioch will continue on third down. You know that De La Salle is going to be the #1 seed, and San Leandro is probably going to be the #2 seed. And then you've got Pinole in there, you got Foothill in there.
Foothill.
Then you start with Pittsburgh, and you've got Logan, and then you've got a couple of teams begging, Berkeley and Liberty. So you just have to see. There's not that many teams eligible, so we'll have to see in the 4A as Christopher looks like he's okay, and that's good news. Here in the Big Little game with a 1:47 to go, third quarter. Antioch ahead 14-13, and Antioch with a 3rd and 8 at the 23-yard line.
Big play so far early in this game, Dan.
Pate to throw. He throws for Rowe, and Rowe has a first down out to the 43-yard line of the Panthers.
What a great throw, Dan.
Orlando made the tackle, but that was a great passing play.
You know, they were talking in the huddle, him and Rowe, and I figured they had something up their sleeve. And let's watch this throw by Joey. Boy, what a nice reach out by Rowe. He gets it, turns upfield like all good tight ends do. They head towards the goal pole. What a nice catch. They move the chains, big third down play. They keep the drive going, Dan.
They head towards the goal post as well.
The goal post. What did I say, pole? Whatever. If I got paid to do this, I'll be in the food line, folks.
First down, the ball at the 43. Number 21 is Lontavius Johnson, and he's stuck at the 45 after a gain of 2. With a minute to go here in the third quarter, Steve, this is going to send up a fantastic finish for us.
Oh, it really is.
And we had a great one last night. I wonder, do you wonder if Coach Longero from Los Lomas, though, from last night's question in that 4th down where he ran, or even going back to the 2nd and 3rd down, they had 3 plays for 1 yard, and they could not get that first down with a minute to go.
On the 12-yard line, You bet he is.
But Los Lomas is one of the most fun teams to watch play. They have a great offense, and we'll probably see them in a playoff game here. Might see a rematch with Miramani down the line. 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. Pate to throw. Fakes. Lofts one to the sideline. He's got Hilton out there. And Hilton is knocked out of bounds. Good coverage that time by Mathis.
Yeah, that ball was kind of thrown a little bit off the playing field, Dan, out of bounds. And Hilton did everything he could to keep himself in to make the catch. But he just couldn't gather it in. It was just thrown a little bit too far to the towards the track. Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. And it's just like he does a fake pump right here, and he's getting some pressure, and he kind of throws a jump pass, and you can see Hilton right there trying to position himself to make a catch, but a good defensive play too by number 19.
No, that was number 10. That was Mathis.
Thanks, Dan. Sure glad you got that, because I look for number 19. There is no 19 over there.
And we have a penalty. Hilton really can adjust to the ball well, Steve. He's shown some real nice ability there as he was Antioch's 4th receiver. Now he's their leading receiver.
Yes.
We got dead ball, false start, offense. 5 yards.
This is going to bring up about a 3rd and 14, Dan. The 4th and 13 maybe. Another big third down play for the Panthers right here. They want to keep the ball out of that potent Pittsburgh offense's hands.
This might be the last play of the third quarter. 26 seconds to go. 14-13 Antioch, and they have a 3rd and long. Pate rolling. Pate looking for Hilton again, and they go to the sideline in front of Mathis, but it's incomplete. And Antioch will have to punt here with 21 seconds to go in the third quarter.
And he had a man open too. He just misfired on that one, Dan.
And this has been an adventure in some of the games that we've seen Antioch, Steve. They've had 2 or 3 punters this year. Hatch has done a pretty good job since he's been named the starting punter, but on one of the last snaps, he fumbled it and just barely got the ball off. Justin Amaral is the deep back for the Pirates. And that's a good kick this time from Hatch. And Mark Redmond downs the ball at the 32-yard line. Pittsburgh with 13 seconds to go here, Steve, down by 1 point. And this could really come down to the fact Pittsburgh chewed up a lot of time on that last drive.
Yeah, they kept the ball out of Joey Pate's hands, and it ended up with them scoring, hitting pay dirt. Look for them to go back to their running game, Dan. That's what they do. Look for Simonton sweeping left and right.
They've yet to really get anything completed down the field, Steve. Their passes have been in 10 and 12-yard increments. And they're asking for a new ball because I think that one is wet out there, Steve. First down, ball to 33. Pitch to Simonton. And Simonton is tackled. A great play that time by Jesse Williams after a gain of 2. And Steve, that's going to be the last play of the third quarter. The score after 3 in the 83rd Big Little game, Antioch 14, Pittsburgh 13. We'll be back in 1 minute for the finish.
AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop that right now!
I'm just dumping my oil in the garbage can.
By dumping used oil in the garbage, you might as well be dumping it in the ground. No! Recycle your used oil by curbing the crude. It's so simple. Place your used oil in a sealed jug on the sidewalk along with other recycled items. Call your waste management company for more details or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Fourth quarter from Pittsburgh, and a second down play is stuffed by Richie Beltram. We're going to send it down to Joey Acuna, who has a special guest.
Thanks, Dan. I'm here with the Pirates, the champions of the BVAL. We're going to start off with the freshman coach first, Coach Shipe. Coach, last year you won, this year 2 times in a row. Tell us about your team this year.
Team put a lot of hard work in this year. We had an excellent team. The players played their hearts out, and, they did it for Pitt.
Congratulations. And you're going for a 3-peat.
Yeah, I'm going to try to.
Now for the JV coach over here, Coach Gomez. Coach, tell us about your team this year.
They fought hard since March. We were lifting in March. They've been in study hall, 7 o'clock in the morning. I just couldn't be any more prouder than those guys.
Now, are you guys going to celebrate tonight?
Oh, we sure are.
Wait, you got to wait for Coach Cockerham, right?
That's it. We got to wait for Coach Cockerham, and we'll get the trifecta and go home and celebrate.
BVL champions, freshmen and JVs. Back upstairs to you, Dan and Steve.
It just has a Pittsburgh flavor over here, doesn't it, Dan?
Well, we're in Pittsburgh.
Oh, geez, no wonder.
I know Steve Gomez. He actually works in the beer business, which is what.
Well, then you would know him if he worked in the beer business.
And congratulations. There's more Shipes in Pittsburgh than I think there are
Smiths and
and Bellachis in Pittsburgh.
And Bucciolatos.
Yeah, there's a lot of those too.
And Galleys. And Chinos.
I saw Cindy Bucciolato before the game. Her son Danny is the center on this team.
Well, hey, Antioch Kelvin, Dan, they're getting the ball back. Richie Beltram had a big defensive series right there. A couple big plays by Beltram. You can see why he's so important to Antioch, Dan.
Gate kick, good kick. Hilton is deep, and that takes a Pittsburgh bounce. And Antioch will have to start at the 33-yard line. Steve, great friends of the program here on AT&T Broadband, high school football, and of course, the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria, voted the best pizza by the readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, where there's 14 screens of movie magic in Concord and 16 in Pittsburgh. Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. Paramount Technology of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. And also, last week we had a special guest. It was Prime Equipment, Steve, that remember them with the scissor lift a couple weeks ago? Yeah.
Here's a good run by Antioch, Dan. So it's a replay right here, Dan. They picked up about 5 yards on this. Just a little delay. Real nice block by Sino. He springs him open. Nice 5-yard gain right there, Dan. Good first down play. That opens it up for Joey to throw the ball.
Yeah, that was Johnson on the carry, and Bazan and Fuentes, who are two of the better linebackers in this league there.
And they've been having a good game.
So Pittsburgh, though, is still, it's not a dangerous situation. If Antioch scores, Steve, they can still get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Pate finds Hilton, and Hilton's wide open, near sideline, knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line by Jamar Hines, and Joey Pate's a magician, Steve.
What a great play by Joey Pate right here. You're right, he does a Houdini act right here, Dan. Here he is, he's rolling out. Billy Wills is doing a real good job giving him time, but the guy gets around him, and he's just wide open. He's waiting for a bus over here. And he just catches the ball and moves the chains.
He almost found one, too.
Yes, he did.
And it wasn't Jerome Bettis.
Look at that.
Man.
7 catches for 70 yards for Dino Hilton.
I said earlier, and I might have even said it to my wife, that Joey Pate had to have a big game for Antioch. He's having it. And this is Johnson. And if Johnson can get around Hines, he would have had a big gain. But he wasn't able to get around Hines, Steve, and that was a good tackle. Some more friends of the program, as always, here on AT&T Broadband. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And Steve, fourth quarter, who was a great friend?
Fonzie.
Did you hear Tano last night?
Yeah, I heard Tano.
Okay. Well, you know who mine is in the fourth quarter, and this guy's not only a great friend of football, but to everyone in Antioch, and that's Bill Mercado.
Oh, he's a great friend.
And we're going to use his Antioch lineman list here in the fourth quarter to get us through some of the dead time. Second down, Pate to throw.
Oh, what
Pate
a throw.
throws to Rowe. There were 2 Pirates all over him. Number 10, Mathis, and number 40, Bazan. And Rowe made an absolutely spectacular catch. And there's been a lot of great tight ends there. And Frank Rowe's just another in a long line.
You're absolutely right, Dan. Let's watch this replay, Dan. We said before this game, Pate was going to have a big game. Throw for 270. He's on his way, Dan. And right here, he's rolling out to the right. He throws on the run. Watch Rowe. In traffic, makes a nice catch, gets his feet down. Boy, I tell you, I smell upset, Dan. Antioch, they're right here.
194 yards for Pate through the air. Now to 200, Steve. So Pate has thrown for 200 yards, and there's movement on the line right there, Steve. Steve, let's start our lineman list now that Bill Mercado came up with.
Before we start our lineman list, we did the running backs for Antioch last week. We missed 2 good running backs.
Okay.
Steve Parks and Mike Lucido.
Oh, Mike Lucido was a great
2 good running backs that we missed from Antioch. And Rich Benkirk told me, you better mention him, guys, because they were good.
That penalty is on Pittsburgh for offside.
Okay.
Gino Marchetti, Dwayne Putnam, Frank Anderson, Ron Sabrani, and I think it's Buzz Ackerman, but it could be Buzz Ackerman.
Go ahead. John Olenchuk.
It is Buzz Ackerman. John Olenchuk, John Gonzalez, Jesse Cohn, and Joe Bullet Jerry. Who wrote this list out?
Okay, let's get down the play here, Dan.
Oh, man. Unbelievable. First down. Pass to Hilton. And Hilton has an Antioch first down, and he's still on his feet. And D'Lo Hilton is headed to the end zone, knocked out of bounds inside the 10-yard line by number 33, Nicholas Orlando. Antioch is just going crazy. I cannot believe this, Steve.
There's the Antioch crowd, and look at Joey right here. Watch his throw right out in the flat, puts a little on it, and you got to give Hilton some credit. He goes down, eludes a guy right there, uses his speed, makes a nice cut right there, and breaks another tackle. And, boy, what a good effort. He's really put a game together, Dan.
Well, Hilton is really the player of the game for Antioch. Hilton, 8 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown. Antioch trying to go in once again, and that's Johnson down to the 5. 9:12 to go, Steve. But like I said, all right, Steve, top 10 sayings. We did the first 5. Here's number 5. Good night, everybody. Here's number 4. He stands tall in the pocket.
Yeah.
Number 3, Number 2, he's off to the races. And the number 1, Steve, top 10 saying, that's absolutely right, Dan.
And that's absolutely right, Dan.
Oh, we have a lot of fun here, don't we, Steve?
Yes, we do.
And tonight we have a great football game.
And we got a little surprise for you before this game.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Pate, play action, rolling. And Pate just throws that one away. Had good pressure that time. Pressured by Will Collins. And also number 89 was in there, Dargan, and he just kind of threw that one away, intended for Rowe. Good coverage by Jamar Hines. It'll be a third down for Antioch, Steve.
Well, Dan, look for Rowe down here. That's their money man down here. They need 7. They don't want 3. They don't want to kick that 3 because they give Pittsburgh time to score a touchdown and win the game. They would love to get 7 points right here and put a little pressure on Pittsburgh's offense, Dan. What a great game, regardless of the outcome.
This has been a great season, really. We've had seasons where we didn't have one close game. We've had 5 or 6 great ones, and this is just another in a long line. 3rd down from the 5. Pate to throw. Over the middle. Throws into a crowd. He was intended for Fisher. Coverage that time from Mathis and Hines. This is a huge 4th down call. Steve, what do you do here?
Well, Dan, you know what? I'll tell you. Let's watch a replay right here. Here's Fisher in motion, and right here's Pate. Fisher kind of got tripped up a little bit, and watch this, right? Boy, he could almost throw a flag on that. That was real close for interference. I'm an Antioch guy, though, so you got to take that into account.
And take your hats off to it.
And take your hats off to that, too.
6:31 to go. Antioch's going to go for it.
I would go for it, too, Dan. 3 points. I don't think he's going to do it right here. You've been a big underdog. You got a chance to pull upset off. Go for it.
He throws the fade to Hilton. Hilton is stumbling, and it's incomplete. Coverage on that play from Mathis, and Pittsburgh's sideline were holding their breath. They thought they might have had an interference play, but Mathis played good defense. Hilton kind of fell, and now Pittsburgh has the ball back. Down 1, they have to go 95 yards to score, Steve.
Well, let's watch the replay right here, Dan, and I think the key to what you said is Hilton's trip. He fell over his own feet right here. See, right there, they get tangled, and he's done. He don't have a chance. Once he lost his footing, that play was done. If he could have stayed on his feet right there, I think Antioch might have had 7, Dan. But a real good throw by Joey, and it's not a bad call. They're going to have to go 95 yards to tie it up.
Actually, they only have to go 95 yards to go ahead.
To go ahead, I'm sorry.
They're only down by 1 here, 14-13, 6:26 to go. Is there enough time for Pittsburgh the way they run the ball? It might take them 6 minutes to get down there, Steve.
Well, you got Steve, when you got Simonton in the backfield, Dan, all you need is one play. But, Dan, you know, looking on this game, you cannot give Antioch enough credit for the effort they put out here. With the injuries they've had and the coaching staff, the way they put them up.
And this is Simonton on 1st down. And Simonton's going to move the change, Steve, and he gets them out of danger. He gets out to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, let's watch this replay right here, Dan. They run on the right-hand side of Pittsburgh's Morello and Todea. Oh, the big Samoan.
We got
right
another
there.
injured
There's number 20, Steve Kuchek. He was in on the tackle. He's playing a pretty good game, Dan.
Steve, we've got another injured Pittsburgh Pirate down after that 1st down play. Now, can we have just a little direction? It's
Na. Big Samoan. Hey, Carter, are you ready for
You've said it wrong 6 times. It's unbelievable.
Okay. We got a little surprise for you, Dan.
Oh, okay.
I got your top 10.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what we got going here. Here's Dan's top 10 thing. Let's start with number 10. 3rd of the New Mecca. Let's start with number 9. Let's talk about our sponsors. I mean our friends. Let's go with number 8. Let's look at the replay, Steve. Let's go with number 7. He threw that ball to the concert barn. Let's go with number 6. Oh, now that was a dangerous play. Let's go with number 5. I'll be at the Shark Tank Saturday night, Steve. Where will you be? Let's go with number 4. Steve, is that a clue? Let's go with number 3. Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez, as always. Let's go with number 2.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking at you, and you're killing me.
Okay.
And let's go with number 1 of all time. Here it is. What happened to those girls we had? How did we get this beer at 4 a.m.? And how come them cops didn't just pull us over?
Steve, we're having a good time up here, but Steve Simonton is injured and being carried off the field, and that's unfortunate for Pittsburgh. Go, Joey.
Thanks, Dan. Injury update. Number 4, as you know, Steve Simonton injured his left ankle earlier today. It's a high ankle sprain. He hurt it again. He's questionable. Now, for number 7, Keith Christopher, he suffered a concussion. He suffered one also in Oakland. They've taken him out. He's out for the game. Back upstairs to you.
I'll tell you, Steve, that is one thing. Antioch is the team that came into this game banged up. Pittsburgh's the team that's going out of it banged up.
Well, yeah, they're losing some players in this game. And Redmond and Steve Kuchek was in on that tackle right there. Kuchek's playing a pretty good game.
Oh, and that was very impressive, Steve. And where are those girls that we found at 4 a.m. and where's that beer and who's that cop?
That's right.
I think it was Herb Miles. By the way, Steve, there's 7 minutes and 30 seconds left because Pittsburgh's scoreboard has a bunch of lights missing, and 6s and 8s look exactly the same. As Pittsburgh calls timeout. So, Steve, let's finish our list of Antioch linemen. We might get some names up here that were that played at Antioch.
I knew Olachuk real
outside
good.
of the Ray Harrington, Nick Rodriguez.
Big Nick, former mayor.
Is that Jesse Strom?
Yeah.
Jesse Strom, Eric Snelson, who was drafted by the Raiders and played in the United States Football League. Pat Zeck, who was not only a great football player, but a shot putter and a track guy.
Right.
Evan Pilgrim, who's in the NFL and played at Atlanta. Jeremy Newberry, the starting center of the San Francisco 49ers.
You missed Frank Beatty.
Frank Beatty, who was is at Seattle, or was at Seattle in the NFL. Greg Davis and Roger Davis.
Both Davis brothers, and Greg is coaching on the other side.
Take a look at the team comparison and stats.
And they missed one guy, Greg Spawn and Rick Looney.
Rick Looney. No, that was a loony guy.
He's still loony. Have you talked to him lately?
You saw the stats, and it's exactly the way we figured this game was going to play out. Pittsburgh was going to run for a lot of yards, and Antioch was going to pass for a lot of yards.
I can't believe Bill left off Greg Spawn. My God, come on.
Greg Spawn, that's true.
You can't leave off Greg Spawn.
A legend in his own mind. 2nd and 7.
Legend in my mind, too.
Duffy to throw. He's got Collins open, and he throws it in front of him. Coverage from D'Lo Hilton, and this is going to bring up a huge third down play with 7:18 to play, Steve.
A huge third down, Dan. Here's a replay right here, Dan. And right here, he's 43 for Antioch. Tim Little just closes the gap on him and makes him rush a little bit. Good play by Little and made him force it a little bit. So Antioch, big third down play, Dan, right here. Play of the game so far.
You know what's amazing about that list? What? That you actually concentrated that long to come up with 10 things.
You know, Dan, you cut me down, but then half the time you go, Steve, you're getting pretty good at this. You just never know. I never know what's going to come
You're great
from
at the color thing. I just can't believe you actually concentrated on doing 10 things. That was like a false start at on a 100-meter dash right there from Joey Hart.
And you got a fumble.
Well, that play ain't going to count.
And you got to fight.
Pittsburgh was in motion. His leg was up in the air. Okay. Watch this replay. If you show this little piece right here, and watch Joey Hart's leg.
Right
watch
here.
It right here.
Left top of your screen.
There you go.
He goes, I do ballet too. Have I showed you guys? Look at him. Look at him. I'll do ballet.
They're giving it to Antioch.
Well, Danny, yes, they are.
That doesn't make sense, Steve, because maybe it's because it's a motion penalty and it wasn't a procedure penalty.
Wow.
And they let that play go. No, Steve, you know what? I will tell you, you have done very good this year. You're much better and doing great.
Okay,
but
drop the bomb.
You do, sometimes you're good in little spurts, though. That's why you're a good color guy.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to say there.
I think that's a compliment, folks. I don't know.
I can't believe you actually went home and spent more than 5 minutes thinking about the game before you saw me.
I didn't. I came here and did it while you were here.
Oh.
Didn't take me long.
First down, Antioch after the turnover. This is Johnson. Johnson headed in the end zone.
Unbelievable.
Touchdown, Antioch. What the heck is going on? 18-yard run. No cheering in the press box.
Who did that?
Dave Jackson.
My God. Calm down. We're on Pittsburgh side. We get shot over here.
18-yard run by Johnson after the fumble. And I think Pittsburgh is confused after that fumble, Steve. Let's take a look at this. What a great run.
Let's watch this replay, Dan. The left-hand side of John Sino, number 58. I'm sorry, Lewis Guillory, Frank Rowe, and Brian Hatch open up the big hole. And here he is. Best run of the day for him. And right when they need it, big extra point here, Dan.
Antioch I don't think they had 18 yards rushing in the whole game. They get it back on one play. The extra point by Pate is up and good. 7:09 to play, Steve. 21-13.
Wow.
Antioch leads Pittsburgh on their home field. This has got the makings of a huge upset.
Huge upset. You know, I tell you what, Ferris Anthony, all them coaches over there, where's the list at? Gosh darn it, Dan. Ferris Anthony, Bob Fisher, Jim Baccio, Mark Butterfield, Anthony Borelli, Greg Davis, Al Anthony, Vern Martin's helping out, Frank Mercado. Boy, I tell you what.
How's Frank Mercado's wife doing?
Renee is home. She's
Okay,
doing good. And she appreciates everybody's thoughts and prayers. And it's good to see her home.
And how's Al Anthony's wife doing?
Al Anthony, Sherry's doing good. Sherry's home, and she's doing fine. If you ask me how my wife's doing, you know how she's doing.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
She has to deal with you every day.
My God. Well, what about, forget it. I ain't gonna What a game,
Are you
Dan.
kidding? I'm never home for Selena to have to worry about.
Selena, I call her. She's such a sweet gal. I'm going, what? Well, forget it. I didn't want to go there.
How did I end up with that?
I'm not even saying nothing. But that's a good start.
21-13 Antioch. What a ball game out here. Antioch has scored 3 touchdowns. Hilton, Nolan, and Johnson. Simonton and Robinson have the running touchdowns for Pittsburgh. They're going to need another one and a 2-point conversion to tie up this ball game.
Nice
kick. And Amaral slips on the wet turd. And Amaral, though, with a good return, still on his feet. Amaral's outside. He's still on his feet. Great return that time from Justin Amaral. Knocked out of bounds at about, I'm waiting to see where that spot is, Steve. It looks like one of the refs is back a little farther. I think he was out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to mark him down the 27, Dan. He came real close to hitting his knee down right here. Let's see if it hits. Oh, boy, that was close. But anyway, it looked like that knee was down, Dan. That was a close call right there. And he gets to the outside right here, makes him some good real estate. Steps out of bounds right there, though. Okay, Dan, we're going to take another look at that knee a little bit. Looked like his left knee was down.
I hate that rule.
Well, I hate it too, but if it's a rule, it's a rule.
I just think they should get rid of it. Why even challenge it?
I agree with you.
Need to be hit down by somebody in football. Robinson, a couple on the first down, and number 43, Tim Whittle there. Here, we're going to take a look at this knee again, Steve.
Jorge Lopez was in on that. Let's watch the left knee of him. See if it hits. Right there. Wow. And that would have been on the 2-yard line, Dan.
98-yard drive to tie. You know what's funny, though, Steve? Last year, Antioch was faced with the same situation. They lost a bunch of guys. They lost their big runner, Rene Lopez. Everyone said Deer Valley was going to bury him, and they went out there and beat them. Today, the same thing happened as you take a look at the stat comparison. Antioch throwing for 223 yards, and they might pull the upset here. Duffy to throw. Nice pass. That's Hubbard. And Hubbard is out of bounds near midfield. Beltram came over to knock him out with Zach Robinson and Jorge Lopez, but Pittsburgh, Steve, has 6 minutes and 15 seconds, plenty of time to get in the end zone.
Let's watch the replay right here. Here's Duffy, makes a real good decision right here, sprints out a little bit, kind of got a wobbly duck, but it comes down in the hands and makes a nice turn upfield right there. Was that Eric Hubbard?
Yes, it was.
Thank you, Dan.
Right at midfield, first down for the Pirates, 6:15 to go, 21-13 Antioch. Duffy to the air, and there's a penalty flag as Hines slipped, and it was off his, oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, Pittsburgh moved early.
Hines slipped, and that pass was incomplete.
Personal foul. Offense.
I didn't see that.
Wow, let's take a look at this.
I thought over here he moved early, Dan. Let's see on the left.
That's true.
That's what I was looking at. Right there on the left. I thought he had motion, but let's see if keep the play going. Okay, let's don't keep the play going. Let's keep the play going. Okay, here we go, like I said. Oh, Tonea.
Is that what it was
the
again?
big Samoan.
Did he lay his paws on?
He gave him a karate chop to the back of the neck. And that's a big play at this time of the game, Dan. I don't know if we can see that replay again, Ron, but what a... I think we can see if we can.
You know the thing, Steve, he's so big, it must be hard to use conventional methods against guys that are that much smaller than you.
That's right. And it's first in the marina.
It is, 1st and 25. Handoff, this is Robinson. Robinson gets 5 back. John Cino and Whittle there. Let's look at this karate chop, Steve. Here's the replay.
Okay, let's see if we can't watch the replay. Let's watch your right hand screen.
Oh,
77. Hi-ya! 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 Hi-ya!
High karate is what that was.
Boy, you know that hurts.
That boy is a big, mean boy.
I mean, that's not Pee Wee Herman out there hitting you in the back of the head.
No, that's the big Samoan.
Oh.
1 back behind Duffy on 2nd down.
And that's what he's going to do to me when he sees me for pronouncing his name
Duffy
wrong.
rolls. They're setting a screen back up to this side to Gay. And you know who made a great play here, Steve?
It's Hilton.
Like number 18.
Number 18.
Because if Hilton hadn't made that tackle, Gay would have had a clear sideline and a run to the end zone. And, Steve, this is a huge 3rd down play, 3rd and 20, as we take another look at it.
Right here, Dan. Here's 43 putting the pressure on Antioch. Tim Whittle, and he's done some good job. And watch this wrap-up job right there. Player of the game so far right now, Hilton. And Pate. You got to give Pate a lot of credit. It's not over. I'm just excited. I don't know.
3rd and 20, Steve, and this is not exactly where Pittsburgh has shown a lot of prowess here, converting 3rd and long. Duffy to throw, looking down the field. He's got a receiver. It's intercepted by D'Lo Hilton. Hilton's at the 25, the 30, back to the 35-yard line, and Steve, Antioch has to kill 4:44 off the clock and pull off a huge upset here in Pittsburgh.
And what did Al Anthony say before he left this
We're not
booth?
going to use that line until the end of the game.
And then who's going to use it?
I am.
Are you going to do like your Al Michaels?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you're going to do your Al Michaels thing? Let's watch a replay. You bet, Ron Carter. Thank you very much, buddy. Here it is. Here's Duffy in the pocket right here. Plenty of time to throw the ball. He's surveying the whole field. And real nice form. Goes downfield, but watch Hilton. Hilton, he's throwing into triple coverage. And there's Hilton, like taking an apple off the tree. And he just turns it upfield. Upset in the makings. Now you're going to see Antioch start running the ball, make them use their timeouts, Dan.
Yeah, but Steve, this is one thing. Think about it here. They're on the 35. That was basically a good punt.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Antioch hasn't ran the ball at all.
Well, okay.
They ran one play, really.
I'm still thinking.
So you used 3 timeouts, you got 4 minutes. And that's exactly what happened there. As you see,
There's
20.
a fumble, Dan.
Did they fumble the ball?
They fumbled it, but they called him down, I think. Let's see what they do.
No, Pittsburgh's got it back.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that Johnson got stuck at the line of scrimmage. He got stuck all right, and we've got another injured Pittsburgh Pirate on that play. And they're bringing on the trainer. Steve, this is one of those wacky games that's going to go to the last play. Let's take another look at this. I can't see the fumble.
And like I said, they should have been passing the ball. And right here, there it is right there. It looks like 65 for Pitt is the initial guy. There's the ball on the ground, Dan.
Yeah, that's Ronald White.
There's a real good play of the ball on the ground. And I think 65, I don't know if that's him on the ground, but he's one of the first guys there.
It was 65 and 89 Dargan who made that play. And Pittsburgh has 4 minutes and 35 seconds to go about 35 yards, Steve, to tie this one up if they can convert a touchdown and a 2-pointer. What a football game. We've had unbelievable games here the last week. We had the great game at Antioch that went to the last play. Last night, Los Lomas had a 4th and 1 inside the 10 and were stopped, and Miramani wins 48-41. And here today, we're 21-13, and this has been a very good competitive football game.
All the way around, Dan. You got 2 great schools, 2 great traditions, and a great rivalry. And, boy, I tell you what, they have not disappointed.
AT&T Broadband welcomes you to give us a call and tell us what you think of the game of the week. Call 933-6264. Ask for Metal Matt and ask him who is going to be the CC Rock for December. And speaking of CC Rock, to see how good Ron Carter is, if he can fire this one up to us, following tonight's game, actually the Los Lomas Miramani game, as you see the injured Pirate Ronald White coming off the field, following the game, the Los Lomas Miramani game tonight, CC Rock this month, Billy Squire, and then Queensryche, and as you said, Jeff Tate pointing at me and saying, Dan,
that's what he said.
Bring me a cognac.
He's gonna
send it down to Joey Acuna quickly. Go, Joey.
Number 65, Ronald Wright. He got the wind act out of him, but he will be returning. Back to you.
First down, backs off set for Duffy from the 35. Pitch to, that's Robinson. Robinson has some yardage out in front. Robinson turns the corner. Robinson's headed to the end zone, inside the 10-yard line. What a game this is, Steve. What a finish we've got on our hands.
Wow.
I'll tell you, Steve, I was told that he was more of a banger. He's got Simonton-like speed as well.
He's got some speed. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. Pittsburgh's offense on the right-hand side. They go behind their money. Bucciolato, Morello, and the Samoan, and here he is going up the sidelines. And there's that speed you were talking about, Dan. And boy, he almost took it to the house.
I saw the Samoan throwing elbows.
Yeah. I just let him go by. Just sit here.
I want him in the cage match at Survivor Series next week. First down from the 8. This is Robinson. The ball's on the ground. The ball's on the ground. A fumbled handoff. We got to wait and see who has this ball.
I think Pitt got it back, Dan.
Pittsburgh recovered at the 10-yard line. Steve, this is just nutty.
Whoa.
This is crazy.
Talk about dodging a bullet right there. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And here it is, given to him right there. And he never got the exchange. And boy, I tell you, how close is that from...
look who got the ball.
How could he miss the ball? And who's going to get the ball from that guy? Huh? If I had the ball, say, here, you could have it. The Samoan.
Well, they line Toena up on the left side this time. They're going strong left, and that's the way they run. They pitch to Robinson. He's got a convoy, but Robinson is tackled at the 7-yard line by Beltram, and number 22 for Antioch, Damon Anderson, is going to bring up 3rd down. They have to score a touchdown, Steve.
Yes, they do.
3:28 to go, clock running. What a ball game.
Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. The right side is just sealed off right there, but here comes the pursuit of Antioch. Number 22 gets there first for Antioch, Dan. Damon Anderson, real good job. We haven't called his name, so he comes up big at the right time.
Well, Pittsburgh's going to go for it, Steve, and face Antioch will be faced, even if they stuff them, with having to get out of this backed up into their own end zone. It'll probably be a 95-yard drive the other way if they can stop them. 21-13 Antioch, third down, Duffy to throw. Duffy rolling. Duffy's going to run this one to the end zone. Duffy dives. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Touchdown, Pirates! Duffy, a 7-yard option run around right end, and with a 2-point conversion, Steve, we've got overtime staring us in the face.
And Dan, I'll tell you what a great game, boy. Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. Here's Duffy, he's rolling out to the right, and he can tell right there he's got a lot of real estate in him. And right here, he just puts his nose to the grind and just gets on in. Real good effort on Duffy's part. This is the biggest 2 points of Pittsburgh season right here, Dan.
And he got a great block from Brian Robertson that sealed that corner as you see Coach Cockrum coming off the field. And irregardless of what happens, irregardless of your ties, you can be proud walking away from this game saying both of these teams put in a great effort.
Oh, you really could, Dan. Pittsburgh's going to call a timeout. They're going to talk this over, Dan. Right here, this is such a big, or maybe Antioch called timeout. But this is play of the game right here for sure, Dan.
Depending on who called this timeout, Pittsburgh would be out of them. Antioch is 2 left, and Pittsburgh, though, I think Antioch might have called timeout here. Oh, Pittsburgh called timeout.
Well, they first pointed to Pittsburgh, then they turned around and pointed to Antioch, Dan, so I couldn't tell you. All I seen is them pointing to Antioch.
We also want to say special thanks to Prime Equipment for helping us a couple weeks ago with that scissor list. There they are, Prime Equipment in Martinez. Everything you need in rental, sales, and service in Pacheco Boulevard. And Steve, there's 2:48 to go.
What do you do here, Dan?
I'm thinking I'm going to pitch to Robinson.
We try to get to the outside?
Pitch to Robinson, try to go to the far side, the short side of the field.
Right.
They're lining up to the left. They're going to take the left hash mark. I'm going to go to the right, try to utilize that speed. They got Hines lined up over that way and Amaral. But they're actually going with quads here, Steve.
They're spreading out the field right here, Dan.
I bet you that's what they do here, Steve. They might run the option right here. They told me in that meeting that they like to run the option with Duffy. They've ran it a couple times today. They might run the option to the right side and go to Robinson with the pitch.
If they're going to run the option, they will go to the right.
And here's the play. Duffy's going to throw. He looks to the middle of the field. It's incomplete. He got hammered by Frank Rowe. He was throwing to Amaral, and that was not a very well-conceived play, Steve. They look kind of confused on that 2-point conversion, and Pittsburgh is down 2 with 2:48 to go and no timeouts.
Well, Dan, they elected to put the ball in the air, and right there, let's watch the replay, Dan. I want to see who put the pressure on him, Dan. Was it Williams?
It was Rowe.
Was it Rowe, 88, or Williams? Let's see. Here comes from the blind side. Here's 22, and
it was Anderson and Rowe.
Anderson and Rowe. Real good job. Boy, what a big defensive stop that was.
And Lontavius Johnson, the coverage on Hines. And so now our dream of overtime is over. It's just about over, unless Antioch returns the kickoff and Pittsburgh gets the ball back and then goes and scores and gets a 2-point conversion.
Wow.
Or as Dave Jackson just said, the way this game's going, they kick it real far, Antioch falls down, gets a safety, and it's tied at 21.
That's why Dave Jackson's keeping stats.
Unbelievable, the games we've had out here, Steve. But this timeout situation can come back to haunt Pittsburgh because Antioch can run 3 running plays and not kill and they run basically 2 minutes off the clock. Pittsburgh's going to have to try to go down in about 40 seconds and win the game.
I think Pitt has one more timeout left, Dan. I think they charged that last timeout to Antioch. I don't think it was charged to Pitt. I think it went to Antioch. So I think Pitt might have one more timeout left. We'll have to see. Maybe Joey Acuna can find out.
Well, we don't have they're going for an onside kick. We forgot all about this. You can purchase a game of the week for $20. Call 933-6264 for more information. Ask for Metal Matt. But they're trying for an onside kick here, Steve. We forgot all about this. On a wet field, this could be dangerous. The ball's down. It's on the ground. But Antioch recovers at the 46-yard line. Who fell on that ball for Antioch, Steve? I think it's Zach Robinson.
42, Zach Robinson.
So here's the situation, and of course the clock, we are in Pittsburgh, right? There was 2:48 before the kick, and there's 2:48 now.
I think they added time on.
So and I think Antioch is questioning that because there should have at least been about 5 seconds that runs off the clock. As you see, Coach Ferris Anthony, who's done a great job under very trying circumstances at Antioch this year. Pitt has 1 timeout, Antioch has 2. Antioch not running the ball very well tonight, though. They fumbled on their last play. And, Steve, this one, I don't think it's over yet.
Oh, no. There's something funny going to happen here.
Remember the Antioch Deer Valley game the one year where there was 2 fumbles in the last minute?
Right.
So with the slick ball and the wet field, just about anything could happen out here. Antioch starts at the 46. 2:48 to go. They don't take any time off the clock, Steve. Tate has 2 running backs. You know what they're going to do is I think they're going to hammer ahead with Beltram. But Beltram's going to lose yardage here, Steve, on first down. Vazan makes the tackle, a loss of 4. Clock running with 2:40 to go. Pittsburgh is going to call their last timeout with 2:37 to go in the fourth quarter. And you could not have asked for a better football game today from Pittsburgh.
Well, I tell you, the only better one you could have was one we had last night with Los Lomos and who was those guys from Miranda, Dan? They're pretty good.
Miramani. The little green machine.
The little green machine. Crazy.
Yeah, this is nuts. Absolutely crazy. But that's what high school football is all about, Steve. High school football, if you follow it and you watch it, it's one of the most, this sounds like one of your sayings, one of the most fun things you can do.
No, mine would be one of the most funnest things you could do.
You take a look at some of the faces of the players who have participated in today's game.
And Dan, I'm going to take a drink of my crystal water that I got from Mickey Lowry.
Concord Beverage.
Concord Beverage.
One of the great friends of the
and
program.
He was a great quarterback at Antioch. And next year, I told Bill what we're going to do. Next year, we'll do great quarterbacks, the top great quarterbacks from Pitt. And then we're going to Antioch. And we're going to challenge all the other schools, some historians, to give us their top players of all time when we do their games.
2nd and 15, 2:37 to go, fourth quarter. Antioch needs to run some time off the clock. At this point, they could probably punt the ball with a minute left if they do not get a first down. And this is Beltram, and Beltram is stuffed once again. Vazan, Collins, the whole line is there. Number 89 for Pittsburgh. Dargan was there. So, Steve, the clock is running. Pittsburgh cannot stop it. You know the thing we got to look ahead to here? Pittsburgh, they're going to have to throw the ball with a minute left, and that's really going to it's going to be interesting because they're obviously a very good running team. They have not thrown the ball very much with much success here today.
Dan, what I would like to see if Antioch was to do anything right here, roll Joey out, see if he can't find somebody open to throw the ball to. If not, tuck it and run, stay in bounds, give him the option.
And that's what they do, play action. There's a penalty flag on the play, though. Tate's going to throw. He throws into coverage to Hilton. And Hilton makes an unbelievable catch at the 30-yard line, but there's a penalty flag on the play.
Oh, boy, that's too bad. That was the ball game for Antioch.
And Antioch isn't celebrating right now, and I think it's going to go against them. And it is.
Let's see the replay. I don't see nobody starting, Dan. I couldn't pick up on it. But here's Joey. There's the flag late. But here's Joey. What a great game he has put together. You know, they're bringing this one back. But look at Hilton, too, go up and grab it with authority. Boy, that guy's played a game. These two guys together, they played throw and catch very well today.
If you'd like to purchase a copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, it's a great memory to look back on today and into the future. $20 per tape. Call 933-6264. Ask for Metal Matt.
It just went up to $30.
This game costs 30.
30, that's right.
Now, Steve, here's the strategy here. After the penalty, the clock is running. Why is the clock running after a penalty?
I don't know, Dan, because you're supposed to know these things.
I didn't know that the clock started after a penalty and they came back. Huh, that's interesting. I thought that they would have that call because they actually committed the penalty. Why do they get to cross? And now Antioch has to call a timeout because they were in the wrong formation on 3rd and 17. I always thought after a penalty the clock didn't start, Steve, because Antioch could then kill some more time off the clock after they made a mistake. Now, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it really doesn't. Maybe Dave Jackson knows.
It still doesn't make any sense.
What'd Jackson tell you?
So what Antioch could, you know what Antioch should do here, Steve? I mean, really. They should just fall on the ball right now. Don't even try. They throw an interception, they get the ball at the 35-yard line and kick the ball with a minute to go and make Pittsburgh go 80 yards. Let's go down to Joey Acuna.
Thanks, Dan. Before we close this game, you know, Coach Cockerham wanted to talk about Joey Hart, who's a defensive back who is also an inspiration to the Pirates. He's got 3 interceptions, well, 5 all this year, 3 interceptions in 1 game, which tied him. He's hoping that he gets an interception now. It's going to be close. Once again, this is a big little game. It's so exciting. Back upstairs to you.
And you know what I want Joey to do for next year? I mean, he looks great, but he needs the orange tie because he went to Pittsburgh High.
That's true.
He needs an orange tie with the black suit. Then he'd really have some black and orange going. All right, here we go. 3rd down. Antioch has 4 wide receivers in the game. 3rd and 18. And they hand off to Beltram, and Beltram is stuffed for a loss. And the clock is going to run down, Steve. And if I was Antioch, once they set this ball, I would take this all the way down, and if they have a timeout left, call it with about 2 seconds left before the delay, and that's only going to leave Pittsburgh about 40 seconds. But you know, there was a game here a few years back, maybe about 10 years ago, De La Salle, Pittsburgh, same situation. And Pittsburgh was ahead. Tumor. They did this, and boom, boom, De La Salle scored and won the game.
Tumor. That's all I can say is tumor.
They didn't have a tumor. They had tumor. So that's what Antioch's going to do.
One thing we got to keep in mind, Dan,
they're going to call timeout, Steve. They're going to leave Pittsburgh about 45 seconds. The one thing to remember here, though, Steve, too, a bad kick, a bad snap. If Amaral can get the ball in his hands to return this, there's a lot of stuff that could still happen.
Well, and let's don't forget this, too. They need a field goal. They don't need a touchdown to win this game.
That's true. And Zerbini has kicked a few field goals
yes, he
this
has.
season.
So this is far from over, Dan.
And he has a pretty strong leg.
And what's your problem, Jackson? You're standing up like the president just walked into the building.
Now, Steve, I've been to, here's to take a look at the BVL standings, and these are before the games of yesterday. They're right if you consider that we have not added the games of yesterday. Yeah, let's just take a look at them real quick. We'll tell you that Ignacio won and is 5-1. Pittsburgh, if they win, will be 5-1. Liberty lost. These are actually from about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. Go ahead, he's fine.
It's all right.
It's
Freedom won. Freedom, Deer Valley lost last night. Antioch 2-3, and Clayton still down there with no wins in the league. That's all right. The order's right. The records are just a little off. But Ignacio is going to get the co-champion, and unless Pittsburgh can come back and win this game, they are going to fall to second place, Steve, and they might have to end up playing San Leandro or De La Salle next week. Here's Hatch's punt. And
Good pressure punt. Oh, boy.
Amaral's going to get a chance from the 25. Amaral has a lane. And Amaral's tackled at the 42-yard line by Jesse Williams. 36 seconds to go, Steve. This is the biggest drive of Braxton Duffy's young career.
Oh, boy, I tell you. And no time for mistakes. I think we're getting a penalty here, Dan. I don't see no flags, but I see some referees huddling. And it looks like a guy's got his hands on the hips. You might get offside for Pittsburgh.
We'll wait for the call.
Jeopardy.
It's Ron Carter.
No, I thought that was Jeopardy. I heard Jeopardy in my ears.
Alex Trebek.
Look at that man right there, the big Samoan. Look at that guy, huh?
Look at those arms, Steve.
How'd you like to just take him out to dinner?
He looks like he could play for the 49ers tomorrow against the Saints.
He could. Who's going to win that game tomorrow, Dan?
Niners.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
24-21. Jorge Cortez, or whatever his name is. Oh, they picked the flag up.
Well, that's special.
Take a look at it. It's amazing. It's just a trade-off almost. Antioch has gained 266 yards, and Pittsburgh's gained 267 yards.
And you can circle that big 4 as a turnover right there.
That is the difference in the game. Antioch with 12 first downs to 8, but Antioch, of course, a great passing team, and they've passed very well. Pittsburgh, a great running team. But, Steve, you can't run the ball here.
No.
This is that situation you always talk to the coaches about. Pro players can work this kind of situation very well. Kids don't do it as well because they haven't. This is like probably the most nerve-wracking time they've had.
The thing that concerns me here, Dan, is they got to put a pass rush on. If they don't get no pass rush on them,
they throw to Amaral, and Amaral gets a gain of about 7 inside Antioch territory, out of bounds. Why is the clock running?
Because they whistled him inbounds.
Oh,
he slid.
I don't know about that, but I wasn't down there. They're going to have to kill the clock right here. No, Duffy throws again. He throws to Amaral again, and now Amaral is out of bounds. 15 seconds to go, Steve. I'll tell you what, they might have one more of those, and then you almost have to start thinking back to Soldier Field last week and the alley-oop and the prayer.
Yep.
I could have sworn Amaral was out of bounds on that previous play, though, Steve.
Well, it was right below us, and we had all the players in front of us, Dan. At our vantage point, it was hard to really tell, where he hit. But the ref was right there, and he whistled inbounds, and I didn't see Cochran yelling at him, so it must have been a good call.
It must have been a good call. That's a very Braxton-like Duffy game for a Duffy there, or 70 yards through the air. Antioch in a two-deep zone here with 15 seconds
They're
to play.
going to get movement out here. They should on Pitt.
And Duffy is sacked at the 46-yard line. But wait a minute, what's going on down here? The clock is going to stop. I think they've got a penalty down here, Steve. And the clock stops with 5 seconds left. I think it's going to give Pittsburgh one last chance for the alley-oop. They're going to have one shot at the alley-oop. At the big jump ball in the end zone.
Holding Antioch.
It's holding against Antioch. 5 seconds left. Time for one last play. What an unbelievable finish here.
Well, this is it, Dan.
This
We're going to let you take it.
Unbelievable. What a game. Pittsburgh's at the 35-yard line. 2 wide receivers, near side. 5 seconds to go. They trail by 2, and now the refs are questioning the spot of this ball, and Coach Cochran is out on the field.
He's going, all you guys who can run a 4.40, come over here, I want to talk to you.
You two that can jump, go.
Yeah.
The coaches are on the field.
Well, I didn't know he was already in his 8th year, Cochran.
See, I think Bob Fisher is telling the ref right now that Bill Cochran's in the middle of this this scrum, and I think what Bill just did there is he took advantage of the fact, and as he was walking down the line, he was going block, you run, you jump. And then what was that called? Yeah.
Okay, here we go, Dan.
Unbelievable. 5 seconds to go. Pittsburgh with 3 wide receivers, 2 near side. There's the crowd. This is Duffy to throw. Last play, he throws it to the end zone. Knock it down is the theme, and Antioch knocks it down, and Antioch wins the football game.
Boy,
what a finish!
Look at Antioch's
The Antioch Panthers sideline is going absolutely crazy as Antioch has pulled off a huge upset on the Pirate field, 21-19, and we'll be back in 1 minute to wrap this one up. What a game!
Wow.
Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay. And most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Back at Pittsburgh High School, what a finish, Steve Sanchez. Do you believe in miracles?
Well, I tell you what a great high school game. Let's send it down to Joey, Dan.
We're going to Joey. Go, Joey.
Thanks, Dan. We're here with the winning team, the Antioch Panthers. Starting off with number 8 over here, Mark Smith. Mark, it's great to see you. I know Coach talked about you in the last game. His players will refer you. How you feeling?
Feel pretty good now. Now that my injury is kind of healed a little bit, I'm doing a little bit better, yeah.
Now, tell us where you headed off to. What are you going to do next?
I'm probably going to college, and I don't know exactly where yet, but I'm heading somewhere.
Well, it's your senior year. Congratulations. You finally beat Pitt, huh?
Yeah, we finally beat them. It's game time, baby. Game time.
Now for the winning coach, Coach Anthony. Coach, you won the Mayor's Cup. You beat Clayton Valley in 3 seconds. Then you beat the mighty Pirates. Coach, is this crazy or what?
Yeah, it is pretty nuts considering how beat up we are. And, limping through the season here and just surviving and ending up, beating Deer Valley and Pittsburgh. And, God, it's great, Figured, hey, play the role of the spoiler here. We had nothing to lose. We just got to go out there, play our best, play the role of the spoiler, and have fun. That was the main thing we stressed is to enjoy the atmosphere. 5,000 people at the game. Not too often you get to be in that situation. So we let the kids, be in the moment.
Coach, no Aaron McGee, but you had Octavius Johnson, ran that 15-yarder, which sort of stole the game away right there.
No, it was more than Lontavius Johnson. You could name at least a dozen people who participated in today's game that meant a lot. Lontavius did a great job filling in for Aaron, but so did Richie Belcham and so did T. Dixon early. It was a total team effort. You guys realize that by now. Not one person makes a difference in this game, and this game was huge, big, whatever you want to call it. Biggest upset of my life that I've ever been associated with, and just so glad we're on the winning side, and I'm talking to you, the mortician.
Hey, Dan, we're going to take it back up to you, the winning team over here, the Antioch Panthers.
That's a great scene, Ferris. He's such a good guy.
Oh, what a great guy.
You know what, Steve, before we go over the scoring recap, I want to point out, go back to the first game. That they missed an extra point. If they would have made that extra point, they would have won that game. They'd be 5-5, and they'd probably be in the playoffs. Something they need to address, there shouldn't be any ties. Because if they would have played that overtime and Antioch would have won, they would have been in the playoffs.
That's right.
Let's take a look at the scoring from tonight's game here, Steve. And here's the first touchdown. This is Robinson, a nice 21-yard run.
Well, real nice run by Robinson right here, and he almost went down, eluded a tackle, eludes another tackle right here, hits for the pylon, and gets 7 points early for the Pirates.
Well, we're going back to Joey, and he's with D'Lo Hilton, who played the great game, player of the game for Antioch.
Dan, sorry about that. We got number 18, D'Lo Hilton. He said he had to get on the air his senior year. It's been 8 years since Antioch's won. How you feeling?
Feel great. It feels real good to get the win. That's all we wanted to do is come in here and beat Pitt.
Now, where you head off to next?
I'm going to take a visit to Washington State, talk to San Jose State and University of Nevada, so I'll be somewhere.
Hey, D'Lo, we look forward to seeing you. Maybe heads up with Terrell Owen someday.
Yeah. I'd love to do that. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Tell Dan and Steve, thanks for everything you did for us this year. Thank you a lot.
Oh, wow.
Hey, same thing, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you. Back up to you.
We'll see you next week, Joey. We're doing playoffs. D'Lo Hilton, those injuries might have got him a college scholarship, Steve.
That's right.
He really came on late. And here's the pass to D'Lo Hilton. This is a beautifully placed ball by Joey Pate.
Real nice throw by Pate, and he just put it where his man could get to it. And that got Antioch started on the going, Dan.
And then here's another throw. This is a beautiful throw. Another guy that really came alive is Nolan, and Nolan is only a junior. We'll see him next year,
Yes,
Steve.
we will. He out-battles his man right there. He wanted the ball a little bit more, and he got it, and Antioch was on their way.
Pittsburgh came back, though. This is a 3-yard run from Simonton, who battled all day and was the offensive player of the game for the Pirates.
You seen the Samoan, he was standing there, and nobody wanted to get around him, so they just went right through.
This is the shocker, though. After the fumble, the first play, Johnson, right off tackle, a beautiful run from Lontavius Johnson. And Steve, Lontavius Johnson's a junior. Antioch has a good future next year.
And that's a perfect example of the pass hitting up the run, Dan. That's what that did.
And then now here's Duffy with a 7-yard run that brought Pittsburgh within 2 late in the fourth quarter.
Yes, and here he is. He had a lot of real estate in front of him. He couldn't find nobody. He just tucks it. And right here you can see his determination to get in. A real good effort on his part.
But, of course, they missed the two-point conversion, Steve. And the final score today from Pittsburgh High School, 21-19 Antioch, as we start to take a look at the final stats of today's game, Steve. And we have some individual stats for you as before we see the team stats. For Antioch, Pate, 19 of 32, 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hilton caught 8 passes for 93 yards. Nolan caught 5 for 72. Fisher, 1 for 20. And Rowe, 5 for 48. Let's take a look at the team stats before we go to Pittsburgh's side. As you can see, it just played itself out. Look how even this game was, Steve.
Yes.
The big thing is the turnovers for Pittsburgh. Those 4 turnovers really killed the Pirates. The yardage is almost identical, and Antioch in the passing column and Pittsburgh in the rushing column.
You just flip-flop rushing and passing with both teams, and they came out close, and it came down to a 2-point conversion, and they couldn't convert on it. That was the difference in the game, Dan.
Simonton ran for 122 yards and a touchdown. Robinson ran for 65 yards and a touchdown. Duffy was 7 of 15 for 70 yards, but he threw 2 interceptions, Steve, as we get ready to wrap up this one. But, Steve, I don't feel as sad as I always do after this game because we're coming back next week.
That's right.
Ron Carter did a hell of a job directing and producing this game
Yes,
today,
he
Ron,
did.
and
Good
we'll
job,
see you
Ron.
next Friday night. And Matt Bolander in the truck.
Good job, Matt.
Also, Joel Madsen. Joel is our MVP. He does everything.
He does a good job.
Matt Bolander on replay and audio did a great job as well. Guy Stark came out of retirement today.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Kevin Campbell on camera. Jonathan Martin. And Fletcher Tyler. And Fletcher's another guy that really does a great job.
I like
here.
Fletcher. He's a good man.
Dave Jackson, Mr. Funnelhead on stats.
I don't like Dave.
Robert DeCambra, he'll be at home watching the Raiders tomorrow night. He actually worked for us out in the field, and Brent Eldridge, as always, on data. A great job, guys. We've had 2 great games. Special thanks to Bill Cockrum of the Pittsburgh Pirates for getting us ready for this game, and to Ferris Anthony of the Antioch Panthers as well, the head coaches. And we thank Pittsburgh High School, their principal, Steve Ahonen, and the staffs and the administration from both of these schools. What a great game. All you people over the hill, you always wonder why we do this game. This is why we do this game. You always wonder. Steve, it's been a great season up here in the booth with you, and we get to roll right on next week, probably in Walnut Creek somewhere, maybe Los Lomas, maybe Miramonte, maybe Pittsburgh. We don't know.
San Quentin, who knows?
Well, for you, maybe San Quentin. We'd like to thank the great friends of AT&T Broadband. Once again, as always out here, Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria, voted best pizza by the readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brennan Theaters, 14 screens of movie magic in Concord and 16 in Pittsburgh. Contra Costa Clean Water Program, Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And ParamountTechnology.com of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Other great friends, Rock Bottom Records, New Macca Cafe, Images, the 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And Steve, for the last time in the regular season, who's a great friend?
Well, he was Dennis the Menace's neighbor. He was the ball on Castaway with Tom Hanks, and he was Tool Time Tim Taylor's neighbor. Who is this guy?
Mr. Wilson.
Thank you very much.
Steve, it's been a great one. The final score from Pittsburgh, Antioch 21 and Pittsburgh 19. This has been a sports production brought to you by A&T Broadband in Walnut Creek and Pittsburgh. Don't forget to watch the playoffs starting next week.
Good night, everybody, and go America.